Join us today as we take a trip to a magical and whimsical place, a place named Murderland. How do you get there, you might ask? Well, you go down the looking glass and straight to hell. We watched Alice in Murderland, a movie that would make Lewis Carroll roll in his grave. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Greetings, my motherfucking moon goons out there. How are you doing? Welcome to the next episode of Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me, as always, the wonderful, the magical, the mystical, Mr. Aaron Southworth.
You sure I'm not Mr. Mistopheles?
Yeah, you might well be.
I mean, the
You did have a
magical,
cat.
mystical, wonderful. Yeah, I mean, that was just about a call to cats there. Yeah, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
And with us today is special guest Sarah Sample as we returning to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Everyone.
Now, is this your second solo appearance?
This is my second solo appearance.
Okay.
Like
But
a
I
solo.
normally am. You can find me with my husband, Chris.
Yes.
So.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, of
Indeed.
course, yeah.
Today's movie is it's a gem of a movie. It is Alice in Murderland. Now, the reason we ran this because this past week on January 27th was Lewis Carroll's birthday. So I figured what better way to celebrate the man, the literary genius that he was, than to do this god-awful movie in
Okay.
honor of him.
Now, I am not a well-read person. I mean, I've read good books and things, but my favorite book is Ric Flair's "To Be the Man, You Got to Beat the Man."
That
so,
is how that book
Wow.
can not win like a National Book Award or whatever the book
so,
awards are.
so I'm just kind of curious who Lewis Carroll was, and he's the gentleman who wrote the poems and the books of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass and whatnot. So,
Well, it's funny that you asked that you don't really know who Lewis Carroll was.
I really don't.
Because, kids, we not only do like to entertain here at Horrible Horror, we like to make sure you leave the show having learned something.
A little smarter, a little better.
Oh, I
So-
love that. I love that.
So, again, here are some Lewis Carroll factoids that I decided everybody might need to know about. Because
Okay.
I have to
Worth
read
it.
about him. There's some really messed up information that people would not know.
I really hope he was an opium addict.
Oh,
All right, I'm getting
Probably worse than
close.
that. Anyway, so Lewis Carroll was born Charles Ludwig Dotson, January 27th, 1832, in Daresbury, Cheshire, England. And he died in January 14th, 1898, in Guildford, England as well. Not only was he a writer, he was a mathematician and Anglican deacon, a photographer, and an artist who for mostly painting. So he was a
sounds
man
like
of many.
A Renaissance at that time,
He
yeah.
was. He was a Victorian Renaissance man. Now, he's obviously most famous for writing the Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and its sequel, Through the Looking Glass, along with the poem Hunting the Snark. But he was also famous for his more, we'll say, the Smarty books. I've read Smarty. I just throw out Smarty books.
Them there Smarty books.
Them there Smarty books.
Textbooks.
Classic.
He wrote the Curiosa Mathematica Part 1, A New Theory of Parallels, and the Curiosa Mathematica Part 2, Pillow Problems, The Principles of Parallelometry Representation.
That's a lot of peas.
Wow.
Yeah. So that went a lot really fast. So now here's another trivia: is the Alice in the stories they wrote, many believe is based on or fully meant to be this 11-year-old girl by the name of Alice Liddell, who Carroll took and would like take photographs of and kind of like had this relationship with.
Oh, no.
Oh, it gets.
Oh.
Now he is referred to as Victorian era's most famous or infamous girl lover.
Oh.
Now, here's a great debate going on about him. Like many historians, there's two sides of this argument. Many historians and biographers believe that he was a pedophile because he was fond of young girls and enjoyed their company. He took photographs of them and painted nude young girls in the subject of his painting.
Oy.
Now, he's also believed that he wanted to
Gets you in
marry
trouble.
this Alice Liddell when she was 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And there's evidence to suggest that once a girl turned 14, he would lose interest in them. However, there's also evidence that he had relationships with women of his own age, both single and married. So he was a scandalous. He was a guy. I don't know. He was just a
He was a cad.
yeah,
Ooh, I like that.
a cad.
He's a saucy cat.
Now, there are also historians that have argued against the claims of pedophilia. So there's arguments on both sides. And in his later years, he suffered from migraines and epilepsy. And to find out more, I suggest reading, just quick read, go to his Wikipedia and read his Wikipedia page. And it's really interesting.
Wow.
Basically, this guy was like the Victorian era Michael Jackson.
Eh,
That's
Wow.
what it comes down to. Because people are saying, yes, he was into little kids, but no, he wasn't. It's a misunderstanding because of the time.
a fantastic artist.
Yeah, fantastic
I
artist.
mean, hey.
Genius.
Yeah.
And didn't Michael Jackson, wasn't his, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't his like little kiddie ranch, Wonderland Ranch or Wonderland?
It was Wonderland.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Wonderland is Lewis Carroll. So
Yeah.
Ooh, so many connections.
Interesting little tie-ins. Yeah. Oh no, it was Neverland. It was Neverland, Ranch.
Thank you.
Neverland.
Neverland
All right,
Ranch,
damn
where
it.
I could always be a boy.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
it. All right. Okay. Well, moving on. So, Alice in Murderland was released on February 8th, 2011. We found it on Amazon. I don't know if anybody else find it anywhere else.
Found on Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon it.
Amazon made me sign up for Prime to be able to watch it.
Oh.
So, bully Amazon.
Ooh.
I was
well.
a little salty. But now I have Prime, so whatever.
Hey,
Hey.
Prime's great.
Prime's very
Yeah.
nice.
Amazon, I love your Prime.
Yeah.
Hey. It was written directed by Dennis Devine. Now, for some of you diehard horrible horror fans who've listened to me, you might have heard that name before because he is the man who directed Night of the Dead, Friday the 13th, one of our earliest podcasts. It was produced by Ted Chalmers and David S. Sterling. Now, Sterling has become another horrible horror all-star on this show, where he is responsible for producing other infamous movies we've done. Also did Night of the Dead, as well as Bloody Mary 3D. He is a producing horror. I looked up. He's got like over 50 horror movie producing credits, and they're all just. We could do like a whole year's worth of just his movies.
They're all
on the
just
show.
dog shit.
Yeah.
Well, he claims to be one of the largest producers and distributors of this type of movie.
Yeah.
Like on his website, it claims that he is.
Yeah,
They
it's
are
like
the
that's his
ones. They
thing.
are the largest.
It's
Like,
funny-
He might have like the
of
Guinness
this
World Record
stuff.
for like most production credits, but again, it's like
Right.
quality over quantity
Yeah.
at some point.
It's
It
funny you
doesn't
say
mean
these
you're
types of
better.
movies because they are. There's a specific style and tone which is just just the worst.
Yes.
I cannot
Yes.
get that hour and a half of my life back.
No.
And I blame this
I
horrible
blame
show
him.
that I'm part of. God damn it.
I'm
Hey,
glad
the
you
show's
feel that
not
way
horrible.
too.
Well, yeah,
the
it's not
movies might
horrible.
be horrible. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, the movie's it comes in just under 90
just
minutes.
angry.
So
Yeah,
it's,
sorry,
it's,
it
it's
just-
not it's not long.
No, I feel you. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna make it.
Cast wise, not a whole lot of people that really were anything worth mentioning. There's a few interesting tidbits about some of the people in the cast. The girl who plays Alice is Mallory Grady, and she's an experienced dancer. She's danced in several TV shows and big movies. She was in Fame, Glee, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button with
Aw.
Brad Pitt, where she was a ballerina. And she even danced in the Terminal Roses Parade. Now, the girl who plays
What is that?
it's the Rose Bowl Parade. Anyway,
Okay.
Whatever.
I'm with you, Sarah. I'm like, when you said that, I'm just like, sorry, I don't watch college sports.
College football, Rose Bowl Parade. Anyway, and then Mallory, who is a character, not the actress, played by Marlene McCohen, who was actually born Marlene Barfaruff, which I can understand why she changed her name.
Barfaruff.
She's had the most experience. She's
Ew.
got 46 credits. Mostly a lot of these low budget horror movies, and several of them were also directed by Dennis Devine.
Of course.
Like Snake Club, Revenge of the Snake Woman, which starred Veronica Ricci, who was in Bloody Mary 3D.
Ooh.
Now, the interesting thing about her is she also co-wrote and directed a short film named Pretty, which she stars in along with fellow co-writer Gina McCohen, which was in Bloody Mary 3D, and also stars Danny Barfaruff. So I'm guessing her
Barfaruff.
brother, and it's like they're all brothers and sisters.
It's a very incestuous group here.
Other than that, the person, Jennifer Field, who plays Dee, was Miss Asian America in 2006, 2007.
What?
Weird.
Yep, yeah, didn't know that existed. And then supposedly there's a porn star in this movie by name of Zanova Braden, who did a bunch of porn movies that with ridiculously funny titles. But
Which character did she play?
she plays a character named Tilly in the credits, but I can't figure out who the hell she
Yeah,
was.
I mean-
so I don't know why she's even listed.
I don't know.
But she is listed in the credits. Tilly.
Is it the weird aunt mom?
No, that's Aunt Lena.
Okay.
So it's not her.
All right.
So moving on to the movie, and boom, bam, the movie opens with a title card that reads "based on true events." So right
Right.
there, where you know you're in for a goodie.
Right.
Jesus.
Very believable.
Yeah.
Very.
So then it goes straight into a flashback 20 years
20 years ago.
And Anne Lewis, which I'm sure is reference to Lewis Carroll, is looking at buying a new house to raise her 1-year-old daughter, Alice. So the woman that selling the house and showing Anne around she's kind of a bitch, really. And she looks like she just crawled out of like the local crack house after
man.
a Quiet Riot concert.
Yes, she did.
How could she show around the house? She can't see a damn thing with those bangs in her eyes. That bugged me so much. Like, I guess it's supposed to be the time or style, but her bangs were so in her eyes.
Yeah.
You couldn't see a fucking thing.
No, it is really straight down.
I mean, I get it if you can kind of see a little bit through it, but it was like a sheet.
Especially over like the left side of her face.
Right.
It was really bad. So Anne asked to see it. Hey, can I see the kitchen? Now, the kitchen in this place is a great value because it's a 2-for-1. Not only is it a kitchen, it's also the laundry room. Because next to the old shitty stove is a stacked washer-dryer combo. Oh, but there is no refrigerator.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, did you ever see what was it, the league when it's like, this is my kitchen toilet?
Yeah.
You know?
Ralphie's kitchen toilet. It's basically...
This is my kitchen laundry.
It's... And it's such a tiny, like, little it'd closet of a room.
It's really small. I mean, basically, it's a laundry room with a stove in it.
Yeah,
that's what I'd
basically
call
what
it.
is.
However, the woman selling it keeps saying, it's really interesting. You're so young to be able to afford such a house.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
they
the
make,
house is like this really expensive piece of property that they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, if
really
they actually
is.
advertise it as what it is, it's a goddamn warehouse.
Yeah.
It's just
It
a
really
giant
is. Like,
warehouse.
once you start seeing the exterior, it's a giant, like, 3-4 story warehouse building. But here it's supposedly a house. So, I can understand them saying you don't have the money to buy a fucking warehouse.
Right.
They don't say that. So anyway, Rocket Chick tells that the basement is full of old sewing machines and other stuff, which they keep bringing this up, and I don't know why. Like they make, oh my gosh, sewing machines, but who the fuck cares?
Hip,
No.
cool sewing machines. Okay, and this is also it's like she's touring the place. She's looking at it. She's like, yeah, me and my husband. It's like also I'm thinking to myself, what a shitty husband or shitty wife, either way, to go and look at the properties without your husband, without your significant other. If you're going to be building a life together in a place, considering I'm a recent newlywed, I'd get my ass chewed out if I went and checked out property without my wife.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I can understand that, but sometimes I've heard people, it's like, hey, I can't go look at it and give me your opinion, and then I'll come back and look at it later.
I suppose.
But anyway, moving on. I get your point on that. So Anne decides. Oh, the rocker chick excuses herself and tells Anne that she'll have a nice surprise in the basement.
You should come look in the basement.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a nice
she
surprise.
mentioned this a couple times.
Basement's so
Ooh,
awesome.
the basement. And again, like we said, we've seen some of these movies. The Night of the Dead, Friday the 13th, Bloody Mary. And as soon as she went into the basement, I just went, fuck. Because I knew what this type of movie was going to be. God damn it.
So she heads down to the basement, which is a hoarder's wet dream. It's just packed full of useless crap.
Stuff.
Just shit. Just
Yeah.
junk.
Yeah, it really is. And a figure dressed in all black robes and holding an axe pops up behind Anne and chops her repeatedly with it, killing her.
The worst.
First kill.
Like,
Oh, God. She
Yeah.
reacts like she's getting hit by a Nerf bat
like
or
leave
a
me-
pool noodle.
Stop it. Stop it.
Then
And
getting
it's,
shot in the neck.
the sound was so bad. It's like,
Yeah.
the sound was horrible.
It's awful.
She's not screaming. She's just going,
But
Yeah.
there's blood spray.
There's
like
blood
The
spray.
blood
blood
effect
spray.
wasn't too bad. I was
Yeah.
Some of the blood effects in this movie are just bonkers.
Yeah.
They
pretty
are-
fun. Yeah.
And just over the top. But so her death scene is ridiculous. It fades to black, roll opening credits. Now we meet the main group of girls. They're all sorority sisters. They're swimming in or lounging around a pool, which is the same pool we saw in Night of the Dead.
Yep.
And Alice, being the main protagonist, tells Mallory that she's thinking about how her mother died on her 21st birthday, and that her 21st birthday is this upcoming Saturday.
So she's already kind of like, oh, wow, yeah, my mom was killed on her 21st birthday. It's mine. So there's a connection there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they make the connection.
There's a loose connection. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of that on this show. It's really hard to be jazzed for this one.
So Mallory decides she wants to throw Alice an Alice in Wonderland themed birthday party. So some more chit chat goes on. You meet some of the other girls, and basically it comes out. They all figure out which character they're going to dress up as. So obviously Alice is going to be Alice. Mallory White is going to dress up as the White Rabbit. Cat, surprisingly, is going to be the Cheshire Cat. Tiffany, who's the bitch, the queen bitch, she plays the Red Queen.
Now Tiffany, the bitch, she has a butt chin out of this world.
Oh, yeah, she does.
She's got one of those Jay Leno butt chins that I'm just like, whoa, she's got a mini ass on her face.
Like, she's not bad looking until you see that, and you're like, oh.
It just draws your eye right to her chin.
Most of the girls are pretty attractive in this movie. I
Right.
will give them that. There's some really pretty girls in here. Samantha, Tiffany's sidekick and lackey, is basically the cook / chef from the story.
Right.
Donna and Dee do Tweedledee and Tweedledum because her name's Dee, so she's Tweedledee. And then Pima, the drug-loving Asian, is going to be the caterpillar, which later turns out to be the butterfly because she's like, you know how hard it is to find a caterpillar costume?
I gotta give her some credit there. Yeah.
So once that's all settled, Mallory then throws the fact that her uncle just bought the glass place, and which is we learn is the house from the opening.
So they decide they're going to throw a party for Alice in the same building where her mother was killed 20 years ago.
Probably not the best place to have a party.
Right. What a bunch of bitches.
Worst idea ever.
You're my BFF.
Yeah.
Let's have a party in the house your mom was murdered in.
I was about to say, 'cause
on this very day,
like,
on your
Mallory's
birthday.
supposed to be her best friend. It's like, that's something like Tiffany would do. Like, oh, I'm planning you a surprise party. Surprise! Isn't the place your mother was murdered?
But they are on board with this.
Yeah,
they're all like, yeah, this is on the level. This, and they gripe about it once or twice, but then Alice is like, whatever, it's okay.
Yeah. So Alice goes to talk with her aunt Lena. They just magically show up there.
Yeah, is her aunt at the sorority house?
It makes it look like that. Like, is the aunt the house mom?
Yeah,
I don't know, but. They make it seem like wake, but I really don't fucking know. So they talk about her mother and the mother's death, and we learn that the killer was never found, and neither was Alice's father. So Lena then's like, well, maybe the father was killed by Charlene Glass, or the rocker chick from the beginning, and then who ran away. And so they start throwing all these different theories of
so
what
there's
happened.
a murder mystery about about her mom's death.
The father's gone. The killer's never found. Charlene Glass has gone missing.
Yeah.
So all this stuff's going on. I should say found missing. She's gone missing. So Alice. So we've already said Alice and her mother had the exact same birthday. So what a coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, anniversary.
Yeah. So not only is it her mom's birthday, it's Alice's birthday and the anniversary of her death.
Of mom, yes.
Jesus.
So at the end of the scene, Mallory walks in.
Yeah.
Mallory walks at the end of the scene. They chit chat a bit, and it's over. Now we cut to Charlene Glass doing her best, like deep throat impersonation, and not the blowjob type. She's wearing like a black fedora and a long black trench coat while talking on a cell phone. Excuse me. And she looks like she should be in a dark parking garage with a briefcase filled with like Watergate evidence.
Right.
Drop right.
And she's talking on a cell phone to I don't know who.
Somebody.
You don't know who it is.
And this scene is so pointless.
It really is.
It's so dumb. I couldn't keep up because she was speaking really fast. And the sound quality of this movie is really shit.
It goes in and out.
I couldn't quite keep up what she was saying, but she was talking about the Glass murders, and I'm not going down for this, and I couldn't make it out.
No, it's they're talking to somebody. We don't know who, but basically the gist of the conversation goes that she learns that the building was sold to Renee White, Mallory's uncle, a professor at basically the shitty local college, and that's like the whole point of this conversation to establish that, even though they just established the fact that Mallory's, my uncle bought the building. So now we're repeating the same fact. So there's really no point. And anyway, she gets approached from behind. She gets poached. She's like a poached egg. She gets approached from a figure in black, and he grabs her, slits her throat with a large knife. And even though we just saw a close-up of her getting her throat slashed, the blood squirts out of her chest.
Yeah.
Awful
and
effect.
it takes her forever to die.
Oh, she hams it up so much.
She's like, this is my big scene. She falls to her knees. And then I'm like, okay. And then it cuts to like 3 different shots of her dying. I'm like, just fucking die.
It's probably one of the worst deaths.
But the scene doesn't make any sense. It has no relevance. Let's just kill this lady.
No, and I have much more problems with this scene once we get to the end of the movie, which I'll bring up. But this scene's awful in point. So now we jump to Renee White, who's talking to one of his students in his office about making up a missed test. And it's Andrew. Can we just like kind of a douchebag?
He is.
He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no redeeming quality about this character whatsoever.
I don't know if they try to make, he's the cool rebel kid, but he's just a fucking asshole.
He's just a dick. Yeah.
It's like, why would, and it turns out this is Mallory's boyfriend, which is like, why would anybody, because Mallory actually seems like a pretty cool girl in this movie. I have no problem with Mallory. She's one of my favorites. But why would anybody date this guy? He's just a douche.
Yeah, what is happening between them too? Like he is constantly like picking on Mr. White.
Yeah,
like, he is constantly like
he bullies the teacher.
You're gonna be sorry.
Yeah,
like,
so
what?
this is kind of also the running gag with Mr. White, and I don't understand exactly where it comes from. Is that he's gay. That they always hint at that he's gay. He doesn't really act gay. He really doesn't do anything gay. He speaks very well. He enunciates well.
But yeah, they give you a very serious, like,
everyone is always hinting that he's gay.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. He wears pastels, maybe? I don't know.
They make him really creepy. Like throughout the movie, they like insinuate his creepiness.
But I don't see it. I never see it. I mean, he just seems like a nerd. You know, I mean,
he's a gay nerd, I guess. But
I don't see where the
he prances a lot, like, and he refers to them all as child. Later, he's like, "Oh, child," to all the girls.
And he's supposed to be older, but he's definitely like maybe 5 years older.
He becomes an older age black woman.
I think it's just a terribly acted character.
Yeah.
His acting is really bad. The guy who plays him. So basically, Andrew's strange. Like, if I fail the class, then you fail too. So make sure I get a C in your class. And so he's bullying this teacher in college, which would not fly.
No.
And in walks Mallory, and they talk, and I'm like, holy shit, Mallory gets around, because she is just popping up at the ends of all these different scenes, like across the city, or wherever. She just pops up at the end of everywhere. And we go back to the Alpha Gamma Omega house, which is basically just an old office building that they slap some shitty Greek letters on. It's so bad looking. And so Donna and Dee, they're sleeping in the same bed. Donna, and here, I guess we can get into this.
Do all sorority girls sleep in the same bed?
I'm sure maybe they do. I don't know. But this made me
I like Marshall's like, yeah, probably.
Maybe.
I mean, college girls, I could see if they get drunk. I would see if they had no problem sleeping in the same bed with somebody. It's like, all right, let's just pass out, no problem. But maybe we can sell this now, because I was going to bring it up later, but I get really confused about these guys' relationship, and I get really confused at the end of it. Because at first are they just best friends, or are they like lesbian
right
lovers?
You
don't really know.
And that's one thing that kind of sucks about these types of movies. And I'm just going to go ahead and get out there. It's like, you got hot girls, we never see any tits.
No,
you got this dynamic that are they lesbians, are they not? We never know. You never find out. I mean, is this guy gay? Who knows? You never know. They never tell you. They just always kind of like hint and tease and then nothing ever comes from it.
No
It's
payoff.
just and it's ugh, god damn it.
It's lame.
So
there's a lot of insinuation
Yeah,
that
there
like
is.
they are, but there's never any payoff. To
None.
any
No
of it.
payoff. None
Ever.
whatsoever.
Never.
So
At all.
Donna wakes up from hearing a noise. She heads downstairs, and as she's walking down the hallway towards the kitchen, a man dressed as the Mad Hatter steps out from a side room, and he follows her down the hall. And in the kitchen, the kitchen's suddenly filled with this blue fog.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
wouldn't you be concerned about the fog, the lighting?
The lighting is
I'm just like, what is
interesting.
happening?
yeah. So, and she suddenly finds the Mad Hatter's hat sitting on the counter. Even though 2 seconds ago it was just on his head.
Right.
So I'm like, what is going on? And he comes up behind her. She screams, runs off. He grabs the kitchen knife, chases after her. Now Dee is up all of a sudden. She walks into the kitchen looking for Donna. And the Mad Hatter leaps out and grabs Dee. So what's going on? Who fucking knows? And so Donna comes back into the kitchen, sees Dee bent over the counter face down. And she looks closer, seeing that Donna's now dead. And the Mad Hatter leaps out from behind her, and a hard, fast cut now to Donna waking up in her bed.
So it was
It's
a
all
dream
dream.
sequence.
Dream.
It was really
thank
shitty.
goodness.
Yeah.
Really poorly done.
So Donna wakes up next to her, tells her, go back to sleep, and say, hey, go back to sleep, brain dead, and just goes back to sleep. So kind of a wasted, annoying dream sequence. That
Yeah.
has very little payoff in the long run of
Right.
the movie.
Kind of like this whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next day, Mallory is back in her uncle's office, and she's asking if she can use the glass plates for their party.
So the uncle's office has a giant card catalog behind
And
it.
it's crappy looking.
Yeah, it's like
all-
some really
Oh.
old industrial beat-on card catalog system.
Yeah.
Like it's not an office. It's like you can see there's like a little bit of a table for him. The table's really small. It just looks like storage where they just tried to make this corner of the room look
Look a
like an
little bit
office.
like
Yeah,
an
it reminded me of the
office,
office
yeah.
we saw in After School Massacre, where it's basically just like a janitorial closet they threw somebody in. Here
It's
you go.
so
Here's the
bad.
Yeah.
So again, he mentions the sewing machines in the basement. I'm like, what is it about the sewing machines? Who cares?
What's going to happen with the sewing machine?
Yeah, like
Somebody
this
gonna get
point, is something
sewed?
going to happen?
Yeah,
Sewing
this is like the third time they've mentioned
Right.
sewing machines.
So it's
Yeah.
somebody going, but again, nothing happened. They just keep
No.
mentioning them, but it doesn't matter. And he also says that the loft is empty and it's next to a junkyard in the bad part of town, but blah, blah, blah. And she convinces him to let him use the place by saying that he can come and he can be the Mad Hatter. So he's like, okay, fine, you
So,
can have
yeah.
the place.
Now, this is where, again, the gay thing, it doesn't really work because it's like, you know, all the girls are going to be there, no boys. And, you know, he's just like, well, that sounds crappy or whatever. And he goes, you can come. He's like, he perks up like, ooh, all right.
Ooh, I'll come
and it
and
makes me think
dress
it's like,
up.
yeah, there's a bunch of girls at this
I don't
party.
see-
He's going to be the only guy.
I took it the other way. I took it as he didn't perk up because there's a bunch of. I took it as he perked up because he gets to play dress up at a costume party. So he's like, "Whoo, costume party, yay!" Plus, he's a huge. He keeps saying he's how much of a Alice in Wonderland fan he is, like how much he loves Alice in Wonderland.
I thought there was a huge amount of weird sexual innuendo between he and Mallory, which I found really weird because she was supposed to be here. Like, just the way she's like talking to him, like, you know it, and like, she just shakes- I'm like, oh my
and
God,
for all those at
is
home,
she-
Cher's kind of shaking
I'm
her
kinda
shoulders like,
shimming my
hey,
shimmer,
what's up,
shimmer.
guys?
Well,
Yeah.
it's just-
I get,
it
yeah,
was
you're kind of right
weird.
about
It
that.
was
And again, I think that
a
plays into
weird-
maybe because he's gay. And she's looking at his, he's just like
I don't
girlfriend, like one
know.
of the girls or something like that.
But it ends up again not really
Mattering.
mattering.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, not at all. So we
Sorry.
We
Spoiler.
jump to a very familiar house where Mallory and Kat are talking, and it's the same damn house that was used in Night of the Dead and Bloody Mary.
my
Even the same
goodness.
furniture
Yep.
is used. Which, by the way, this movie did come out first before Night of the Dead and Bloody Mary. So this was first of those three.
Really?
Yeah. So at this point, the movie starts making a really hard, like, shove it down your face effort to sell the fact that Kat, just like the Cheshire Cat, just disappears all the time.
Yeah.
She's in a scene, but then she's suddenly gone. And so they really start to hammer that home throughout this movie. And we learn that Kat is Mallory's roommate, and she's a psych major, which somewhat comes back later in the movie.
I've been friends with her for 4 years, and I hardly know her. Like, okay.
Yeah. So Alice says that she doesn't really want to invite any guys to the party. Now we jump to Tiffany and her sidekick.
And this is the cliche shit. It's like, no boys at the party. Oh, God. I'm just so sick of hearing that in horror movies. It's like, only girls. Woo! Ugh. I mean, it was in Zombievers. It was in
Yeah, but that's a good one.
it was in a couple. It's very cliche.
Yeah. So we jump to Tiffany and her sidekick Samantha, and they're talking about how Tiffany is now with Alice's ex-boyfriend Matt, who, right on cue, climbs in through a window. And
Matt's looking kind of schlubby.
Yeah, he's kind of schleppy. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, Matt, he's got a kind of a goatee. He's out of shape.
barely
and
a goatee, but
Yeah, and he's kind of just doop-a-doo, you know, and he's dating these hot chicks. It's like,
he's doing something right.
Yeah,
Or he
yeah.
must be just like
Don
loaded
Holmes.
down there.
Yeah. Not in the wallet, but in the pants.
Yeah. So basically, Tiffany just says, "Yeah, come to the party," and she'll even wear the special panties that say something, but she cuts him off before he can say what's on the panties. And so, what's on the panties? You have to wait to find out. And cut to Mallory telling all the girls the rules of the party. You know, now she's like, and this is like 2 scenes they've done this
oh
now.
my God.
Where they've had like a little powwow. And they're like, no guys, no cell phones.
Cat's gonna smash it.
Yeah.
If you bring your cell phone, Cat's like, I will smash it. Cat's gonna smash your cell phone.
I know, that's
Let's
pretty
take-
bitchy.
Let's take stock right now. Your
Yeah.
sorority girls, it's a 21st birthday party.
Yeah.
You're going to a haunted house for as far as you know.
Right.
No booze, no boys, no cell phones. That is the most unrealistic shit I have ever heard in my life. Sorority
You're
sisters,
totally right.
unite.
That sounds
Tell
like
me.
the-
Which, by the way, this whole sorority, it's a sorority made of 8 girls.
Yeah.
It has a
Yeah.
small
And it sounds like the lamest goddamn
Ah.
party I think it ever
There's
heard
no
of.
cake. It's gonna be the worst
Yeah.
party ever.
Nothing. Not even food.
No.
Come on.
Right. I didn't even think like they never have
Anything. No drinks.
booze. They never they don't have
Nothing.
booze. They don't have food.
Tea.
They do have tea comes
They
out
had
later.
We gotta
tea.
go on that.
We'll come back.
We
Yeah,
gotta
we'll
talk
come to
about
tea.
Yeah, tea.
So Molly mentions that nobody will be dressed up as the Jabberwocky. And we cut to the glass building, which reads JS Finishing on the front of it. Not even glass. Why is the name the glass?
They didn't even
building?
try.
They didn't even try with this. And Andrew is now in the basement looking at a ridiculously oversized bear trap.
Why is he in the house?
Right.
Oh, he
Why is
breaks
he
into his
there?
teacher's property
He
now.
yeah,
too.
he breaks into his teacher's property and he starts setting
Of
traps.
Booby traps.
He's
Like
making
like
traps?
Goonies, like Chester Copperpot.
Yeah,
Like, get
yeah,
killed.
yeah, yeah. Like
It'll be hilarious. What?
Yeah. So Renee finds him. He's like, "Get out of here! The party's not even tonight. It's tomorrow night." And Andrew's like, tells her, "Don't tell anyone I'm here," and that he's making traps for party. And they're gonna die laughing. They
Yeah.
make big emphasis on that.
Yeah.
and it's just, he's breaking into his teacher's house and setting booby traps that could potentially harm like his girlfriend and Renee's niece.
Yeah.
And then Renee's like, "Get out of here!" And he's like, "Make me!" Like he
Make
starts
me.
stepping up. I'm like, "What the
So he
fuck?"
pulls out the cell phone, like he's like, "Get leave! I'd like to see you make me leave." And so he's just a fucking douche. And he pulls out his cell phone. He's about to call the cops, and Andrew slaps it out of his hand, which it goes flying underneath a bunch of these overfilled hoarder shelves.
But still, not that hard to find.
Yeah, really. And Andrew's like, "Fine, asshole," and then he leaves. But he only fakes his exit. He goes up, fakes leaving the door, and then slides off and go hide down the hallway.
Do you guys notice too that now in the basement the lighting is really good?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody can
Yeah,
see. Like
yeah.
in the first scene when the mother gets slashed, it's really dark down there and kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But like by now, it's like somebody turned on the fluorescence. Like it's good. And you see he's. You know,
Well, it's been 20 years.
Yeah,
Maybe they
it's been 20
upgraded.
I upgraded
Yeah.
some shit. Okay,
So-
that's true.
Renee goes to check the front door, or the exit door. Like, yeah, the front door, fuck it. And it is the smallest door I've ever seen.
Like,
It's like a
It is
closet.
so skinny and narrow.
The
It's
laundry
obviously
door.
just a closet door, not an entranceway to and from a building.
There's no way. I mean, there's no way. I mean, I don't know if Sarah could fit through it just walking
don't-
straight through, and she's pretty slim. I mean, she'd have to turn sideways. There's
Yeah.
no way Marshall and I could fit through it
No.
because it's maybe.
There's like 2 feet wide.
Not even,
It's
yeah.
the smallest door. This is supposed to be the front door to a building. Like,
It's
come on,
total
guys.
Fake. It's
You
yeah.
could have gotten any other door in this place just to shoot from. So, Andrew then sneaks back downstairs where he basically just immediately gets hacked to death by a figure in
Yeah,
black
so
using
he
an axe.
he goes off, he acts like he sneaks out, and then he's walking around again, and then out of nowhere, that same
Here
figure
they
in black,
come.
which kind of looks like the killer from Scream, but with no face mask.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
it's
like a
black sheet.
black shroud,
Shroud.
Robe,
sheets,
black robe,
like
yeah.
robe,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's it. It's just a black figure. That's the best way of describing it. Now, Andrew's death is a little better. I mean, he screams more. He does kind of sell it well. Like, he's getting killed. There's blood splatter. I mean,
It's definitely better than
it's a hell of a lot
But
better.
the sound effect is the same.
It's still squish,
Yeah.
squish, squish.
Dum, dum, dum,
It's like a thump squish. Yeah, it's just horrible.
So
It's so funny.
So we go back to the girls at the house, and Mallory again wants to finalize the details of tonight's party. So again, she goes over the exact same
Yeah,
rules
why?
she just did,
Why? They could have covered all that in like one scene.
Yeah,
and it would have been
exactly.
so much better.
and she tells them their costumes will be waiting for them at the house or at the glass bin that she sent them over. And then she has this genius idea.
Ugh.
Oh my! It's like a
terrible.
light bulb idea that instead of a boring car ride over to the place where they have to park around back, they're gonna
Safely.
Yeah, save. They decide, why don't we walk over there by going through the old, dark, dangerous junkyard
Yeah.
and hope we make it there before dark.
On the bad side of town.
Bad side of town.
And they're all wearing booty shorts and like midriffs.
Why is her BFF? Because she's like, you're my BFF and I love you. I just want your 21st birthday to be awesome. Why is her BFF continually suggesting like incredibly scary and potentially dangerous
Right.
things
Like
for them to
horribly
do?
traumatic party idea. And let's walk through like junkyard in the worst part of
What the
town.
hell? My
And hopefully make it there before dark.
Yeah.
My
hopefully.
notes are all just questions. What the hell? Why would you do this? Who? What?
I actually kind of love that about your
Yeah.
notes, though. So only
So many
3 of the girls actually decided to go through the junkyard.
Yeah, because everyone else said that's fucking
That's
stupid.
stupid.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
doing that.
Mallory and Alice, and then Pima, the druggie. And the only reason she's even going is because she heard that there might be wild growing shrooms in the junkyard. So she's going on a drug hunt. That's the only reason she's
That
there.
is the most messed up thing I've ever heard.
I don't know,
Anyway.
why would you eat shrooms out of a goddamn junkyard?
These growing over here on these diapers. What the hell?
So, meanwhile, Tiffany, sidekick Samantha, Kat, Don, and Dee pull up in front of the glass building. Renee lets them in. That's it. It's boring. It's like, hey, they showed up.
Do you
Good for
notice
them.
that he he kind of like skips in? He's like,
Yeah. Hey, girls, party time. And so
Weird.
the back
Creepy.
of the junkyard, Alice thinks she starts hearing someone following them. They don't see anyone. And then they arrive at the place Renee lets them into. So, wow, what back-to-back wasted scenes where nothing happens.
Ugh,
The walk to the junkyard, why did that happen?
I don't know.
It's-
Why did that even
It
happen?
doesn't- Yeah,
Somebody's
I really
following
don't get
us. Nobody was following them.
Nothing
that
happened.
I really don't understand. Unless it was to establish, yes, there's a junkyard there, but they've already established it a couple times by just saying it in the dialogue.
There's
before.
so many scenes in here that are just time filler.
I really think that's what it was. Like, listen, we need a few more. Okay, let's have
Yeah.
them walk through the junkyard. Okay, them. It's like there's no other than that. There's really no point to
No.
these
Nothing
scenes.
No.
happened.
No,
No.
and so
And it's not even a it's like just a place where they store tractors and stuff.
yeah, it's like an industrial
Yeah.
parking lot.
Yeah.
or like somebody's like a big industrial machinery place where there's
Right.
like large,
Like you
forklifts or like
cherry
large
pickers
cherry
and
pickers,
stuff,
like
yeah.
large sheets of metal or like piping.
Right.
It's really not a
Industrial
junkyard.
storage,
It's
yeah.
not like a bunch of old rundown cars all over the place. So, Renee he leads them to their theater room where the party's going to be held.
The
And
theater.
holy fucking shit, as always, it's the same goddamn hallway from Night
fucking
of the Dead.
hallway,
my
same
God.
goddamn stage.
So
Where
this is movie number 3 now with the same
Oh.
hallway. And so, of course, I'm crossing my fingers at this point. I see that hall, I'm like, oh, I crossed my fingers. And so that means the theater room is going to be the same large red room we've seen 3 times
Oh.
before.
My God.
And they enter the room, and of course, boom, it is the same room.
This is when I wanted to pull my eyes out. This is when I wanted to pull my eyes out. I mean, I was
got
resisting.
giddy at this. I was like, yeah.
I was resisting as much as I could, but then I'm just like, why?
This
Why?
is like true theater, guys, because you're just watching the same set change a little bit for every show.
I'm kind of giving into this. I'm just kind of like getting giddy over like, yay.
Marshall's smiling ear to ear, and
Yeah.
I'm like getting more and more depressed.
This is
You're
amazing.
like-
The vibe is weird. I don't know what to do.
Marshall's pumped, and I'm like, ugh. I'm really low on energy, guys.
But the one thing about this is every time they're in this room, and they showed the one side, like the far side of the room, not the one with the stage on. If you look up in the top left corner, the top of the screen, you can see the hands and feet moving from like the crew members.
Crew.
You can see like the cameraman and the sound people like up above this loading.
Terrible.
Just moving around. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, yep. Yeah.
That's about right for this movie.
That was a big criticism online about it. I read some like reviews and like, people were like, really, guys? It was so obvious.
Let's put a dark sheet in front of you. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
So Kat catches Tiffany on her cell phone, and she takes it from her, and she just stomps on it.
Yeah, now this is 2011 when this was
Awesome.
released, but she still has a flip phone in 2011.
Could have been the Razor.
Well, I did not go over to the dark side for a very long time on smartphone technology.
Really?
So I was always one of those people that
But she even
had,
said, this phone costs more than your education.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
that's
does go
true.
off to say that.
Again, I think it's just because, you know what? Yeah, they needed to say that because she's supposed
But she
to
also
be
needs to stomp on a phone.
But yeah,
Yeah, she
it's
needs
a
a phone
low
to
budget
stomp
movie that
on.
they need a phone they can stomp on. So yeah, they're going to get like a crappy prop phone.
So Kat stomps on the phone, and that prompts a very classic,
Oh, God, the fight between these
Cat
two is
fight.
classic
Oh, one.
moment a lot of these movies share together is the cat fight.
literally a cat fight because Kat is one
Oh,
fighting.
that's right. That's right.
So Tiffany jumps on Kat's back and looks like she's trying to get her like in the old-fashioned sleeper hold.
Awesome.
And the cat just flings her off onto the couch. And Tiffany just keeps trying to attack Kat. And the longer the scene goes on, the worse and worse it gets. Like, really
So
annoyingly
lame.
bad.
It's so lame.
It
It's
ends-
so weak.
Yeah.
And it's long.
It is.
The music. The music. Can
It
we
was
talk
like
about-
weird trance music or
It
something,
is.
like ambient music.
It's
yeah.
like the kind of music that's like on Super Mario Brothers when you're like on the map page. It's like
yeah.
really
Dun, 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 dun. I can't
Yeah,
yeah,
just-
but yeah.
But it was very
Kinda
just
like
like kind of
elevator,
relaxing almost kind of sound.
porn music.
Yeah, like I didn't.
Mall music.
Yeah, it's like a combination of like bad porn music, elevator music, and mall music. Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as the fight started, the music came on. It was
Yeah.
like,
On
now it
cue,
is time
yeah.
to fight.
Mhm.
We
And
do a
it's
cat fight.
and like you said, the fight just got worse and worse. It got to the point where Kat put her arm out. Tiffany's face is all, like palming her
Yeah,
face,
just
and
like-
she's
I
running
totally
against
see
it,
her
trying to like
eyes.
trying to run against it, and Kat's just holding her at arm's distance. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, oh,
It's bad.
Jesus.
It ends with Kat clotheslining Tiffany, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is. 6 arm clotheslines her. And that's it. It put an end to the atrocious fight. So Alice, now she backs up. She sets up a tripwire, causing a bucket of water to get dumped on her head. And Renee's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Andrew is here setting up traps, so watch out for those.
Yeah.
Why? Again.
Yeah. So Mallory's like, all right, I'll take Alice to the bathroom to get her cleaned up and changed into her costume. And now this is where you get the girls changing into their costumes, blah, blah, blah.
Long talking scenes about your 21st birthday should be off the
Yeah.
chain. Then why did you suggest such a horrible thing?
go to a
Like,
goddamn club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
I even
every
wrote-
other goddamn kid.
I wrote,
you
why
know?
don't these bitches just go out to the bar? Like, why don't they just go to the bar?
Just be like
I
every
know.
other 21-year-old. You just go to any bar because you can now legally drink.
Yeah.
You go to a goddamn bar or club or whatever. You don't go to some fucking dirty warehouse on the bad part of town next to a fucking
Well,
junkyard.
Okay, well, I'm just throwing this out there just because
All right, what do you got?
I remember from when I was in my fraternity days, when I turned 21, I was one of the, at the time, older members of my fraternity, so I couldn't have, like, people I could just go out to bars and drink with because they were all, 18, 19, 20. So, like,
Right.
bullshit. So maybe, I'm just saying,
Maybe
maybe
they
that's the
were
reason why they do this,
younger.
because not all of them are 21 to go to bars. However, they keep saying almost like half the girls in the sorority are, like, seniors. So that means after this, they
Yeah.
graduate this year, or would have graduated, the sorority would have been, like, dead anyway, because there have been, like, 2 members left.
Oh yeah, and the one girl, what? She's been a senior for 9 years.
Yeah, she's at the Van
Yeah.
Wilder of the group.
yeah.
Anyway.
So Tiffany goes off by herself, and so Kath is like, "Hey, we should split up to go find her." And like, okay, that's a great idea. And it cuts to Tiffany, who's waiting for Matt, who again on cue climbs in through a window, and they have a really boring conversation before they end up kissing. And this is when Alice walks in. After seeing them kiss, Alice like, "Here, take this necklace back that you gave me." And he's like, "No, you keep it, and it's fucking boring and stupid." So Tiffany, so Alice leaves. She's like, fine, whatever. And then Tiffany leaves. No, Tiffany leaves first. And Alice starts talking about how uncomfortable she is and how weird she feels about being in this building where her mother was murdered 21 years ago today.
So they now realize that this was a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Whoops. Well, we're already here, so
But really, only Oh, wait. Are you guys talking about... I lost track. Are you talking about the conversation between Matt and Alice?
Yeah, that's
okay.
going on right now.
Yeah.
Because Alice is telling Matt, like, it's kind of uncomfortable. My mom was murdered here, and blah blah blah.
You know, I really don't like this. This is a bad idea. Great, leave.
Right.
Yeah, just up and leave. Anyway, so Matt leaves, and he's like, I'm out. And then Alice sets this necklace down and walks out. You never see the necklace again. It plays no attention.
Matt actually, at this point, seems to be the only logical one because he's like, you know what? I shouldn't be here. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, this isn't right.
This is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and he's like, you know.
Now, you
he's
say
the only
logical
one.
now, but we're going to come to something
Oh,
that...
yeah. Right
keep
now
going.
at that point.
So Matt is climbing
Doesn't
down the
help.
ladder that he used to get in, and then someone dressed in black and wearing a gigantic red dragon mask with red hair comes out of the building. Matt bumps into the masked person. He's like, Alice? Is that you?
Is that
How
you?
could
How
it
do you
be...
think that?
How could it be Alice? How in the world? You just left her upstairs through a goddamn ladder.
Yeah.
Walk down...
Second floor, second or third
Second floor,
probably.
third floor. So it doesn't take you that long to get to the bottom. You walk around the corner. How could she dress into a completely different costume, beat you around the corner, and then meet? It doesn't make any sense. And his first inclination,
Oh, hey,
Alice?
Alice?
That has to be
That
you.
must be
And the
you.
fact that Alice, the girl, is like 5'3", 5'4".
Yeah, she's like a size 2.
And the person in this mask is easy 5'7", 5'9", or taller. Plus
Right.
the mask, so it's obviously just by size alone, not
Yeah.
her. And
Oh,
so they,
God.
so he's like, hey, he's like, mercy person isn't saying anything. So he's like, what? You're not going to talk to me? Fine. You want me to spill my guts? Oh, just as what all you girls want me to spill my guts. So
Spill my
he's
guts.
like, hey, I still love you. I love you, and the only reason I'm dating Tiffany was to make you jealous, and Tiffany's only going
Bleh.
out with me just to piss you off. And
I thought I'd win you back.
Yeah.
Where's the goddamn logic in that?
Zach's like,
Not
I want to
logical.
make you jealous.
Not logical.
That's where that logic just went
yeah.
out for the window there. Yeah, he's
spill
just
my
like,
guts.
yeah, I just wanted to date this girl, said she'd fall in love with me again. What?
That's like the logic of like, I'm gonna have somebody like attempt to rob my girlfriend in the park so I can run in and be the hero, and just it goes horribly wrong.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Um,
Yeah, I figured if I started putting my dick in this other girl, you'd want my dick in you then.
Right.
Yes.
so, so
That
again,
always works. That always, I've fallen before. No, never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Never
so
worked.
still not saying anything. The person in black, Matt's like starts raining. Like, what? What? You still want me to keep spilling my guts? You
I'll
want
keep
me to spill
spilling
my
my
guts
guts.
more?
He keeps saying
And-
spill his guts.
more.
On cue, then the masked person lashes out at Matt with some unseen weapon, and whatever it is, it shreds Matt's stomach open as hell,
Open.
and his intestines just fall out.
Yeah.
Which
Holding
look
like
they-
some rubber.
It looks like linked sausages. They just
Yeah.
Yeah.
dipped in like ketchup. It's like,
Yeah,
here you go.
yeah. Look, just and some of them drop out. Then he's holding them again, and then they drop out. Like, how
You're
much guts do you
hugging-
have,
yeah,
dude?
It's a lot of guts.
And I'm just like, good God, the size of this stomach wound is comically enormous for what is supposed to be basically a stab wound from a knife.
Exactly.
Right.
So the dragon masked figure goes back inside, and it jumps to Dee and Pima in the kitchen laundry room. And, and Dee starts eating some of Pima's shrooms, her
Magical shrooms.
magical mushrooms. And it's another quick shot of everyone in the theater room. Renee's turning on the colored nightclub party lights. And it turns out that Renee hasn't hooked up the record player yet. So Samantha's like, hey, you want me to hook up my iPod? But then Renee counters that with the, hey, let's play a game of charades.
Yeah.
Because that's what every 21-year-old college story girl wants to do is play charades.
charades.
Why don't they just listen to music, man? Just let them listen to music.
I know.
Yeah.
Come on, what is going on?
So, so this is where Tiffany replies, I'd rather play Russian roulette. And I think we can all agree on that is the proper response when someone offers to play charades.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with her.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather play Russian roulette myself
Yeah.
than play charades.
I'd rather risk my life.
So now Alice gets kind of creepy all of a sudden and says that they should have a tea party like in the book. A tea party before they cut off their heads. Off with their heads. She gets real creepy out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What?
There's no foreshadowing whatsoever her being a weirdo or kind of creepy. She's just a normal sorority girl who's got a fucked up history. and now she's being a weirdo.
Well, Matt makes a comment to Tiffany in that blah blah scene that's dumb about like, oh, you know, Alice, she's just so like, she's just kind of like dark and stuff.
He did say
She's
that.
kind of deep, and I just couldn't take it, or something like that. Like, so he alludes to the fact that.
But she's the most like non-dark
But-
person because she's bubbly, she's blonde-headed, she wears
and
bright
she's
colors.
easily
she's not
going
dark at
along
all.
with this crazy ass scheme,
Right.
of a shitty birthday party for
Yeah.
Sure, guys, I appreciate it. Really?
So,
These are not your friends.
so Tiff and sidekick Sam, they try to leave, but Mallory pushes them back down on the couch, and this leads to another awful fight scene, a slap fight between Mallory and Tiff, and they take turns slapping each other back and forth.
It's terrible.
It's really
And then
bad.
it just leads to them
Catfight
spinning
too?
in circles, pulling each other's hair.
The music comes back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
a theme.
yeah.
Tiffany gets the upper hand and rides Mallory like a horse for a moment. Then Renee breaks it up, but he just gets pushed around like a bitch, and the embarrassing fight continues until Mallory flings Tiffany on the couch where her skirt lifts
And
up.
Tiffany tries to sell it like she's in the Royal Rumble. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man. She just flies through the air.
Yeah, she does.
Face foot. Like she just basically does a no-arm cartwheel onto the couch with her ass in the air.
Where everyone gets to see the special panties are revealed that she's wearing for Matt that read rear entry allowed with an on the ass with an arrow pointing down.
To her beehole.
Yeah.
So the special panties were just gag underwear.
Yeah.
That's what this guy's into? Spencer's quality gag underwear.
Yeah, they weren't even. It's like they were just like
Briefs.
white
Briefs.
plain cotton panties. They
Yeah.
were just like spray painted or like
Just like
decaled.
yeah,
on.
just decaled on.
So Tiffany
Hot.
Samantha lately.
Yeah. Super hot, guys.
hot.
Super hot.
So Tiffany Samantha lately say we're gonna take the fun party upstairs. So Pima,
Yeah, what?
which I don't know, Pima, Donna, and Dee follow them out.
Well, I will say that at this point, I say that I kind of love that the mean blonde bitch, like, she's the only one that really realizes how lame the whole thing is. I mean, she's terrible.
I think
and
guys
it's
probably
terrible.
realize this thing. They're just trying to be nice about it. Like it's their first. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah,
but
but
she's
at
like,
least
fuck,
she's
this
like,
sucks.
this sucks. Like, this is lame.
Someone needs to say it.
Get the
Yeah.
fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
So, Renee says, "Hey, let's pour your main girl some tea." Which the tea looks like urine. By
Yeah,
the way,
yeah.
I used to be a big tea drinker, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I used to drink like every tea I drink would be like brownish tea, like iced tea, sweetened tea. It was brownish in color. Not this looks like the straight up urine.
Yeah.
pouring out
It
of a
kind of
teapot.
looks
Or
like
Red Bull.
yeah, like a Red Bull pee. Like you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Yeah.
So upstairs, Tiffany is
Sorry about
talking
that, guys.
about getting revenge by setting up more traps and blaming it on Andrew.
Why? Why? Why?
Because she's a bitch.
Just
Yeah, I know.
leave.
I know.
Just leave the party.
Yeah.
Just go out the door. Where? Just leave.
Exactly.
You-
Like, the party
she
sucks.
drove-
I'm out. And she's the
she
one who
drove.
drove.
Yeah.
I was like,
her crappy, cheesy convertible that they drove in. Like what?
Just get out of here.
it's
Yeah,
so
go.
bad. So Pima takes Donna with her when she leaves to go clean up the mushrooms. She's like, I'm gonna clean these up a bit.
Well, because Donna's having a
Really bad She's having a bad trip, which she acts more
no.
drunk
That's
than high
D.
most of.
Is it
D-
D?
yeah, D's having a bad trip.
Yeah.
trip. She's like tripping out and
But she
thinking
still
she
takes
sees the
Donna.
Mad Hatter.
Yeah,
she
she
takes
takes-
Donna
yeah.
with her though.
Mhm.
Like,
Okay,
hey,
I'm
I'm gonna clean these mushrooms off and just come with me or something
oh,
like that.
okay.
And
Oh, really back. Going really back quick to Tiffany's plan, her booby trap.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear what she was going to use? A
She-
fucking
I had whole notes. Yeah, a fucking brick on a string.
a
by the way.
fucking brick
Mm-hmm.
is going to drop on one of these small girls'
Yeah,
heads.
that's a drop on their heads. It'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, I
hilarious.
had a whole note
Concussion,
section on
man.
this when they finish the trap later. I was going to bring that up
Oh,
again.
Okay,
God.
well-
Okay, well, we'll get to it then.
Ugh.
So, and this is where they talk about Donna says that she's still undeclared, and Prima's like, "Aren't you a senior? How are you still undeclared?" And Donna's like, "Oh, I've just been that way for a long time." And the only reason I even bring this scene up is because it reminds me of someone I know, someone we all know, Aaron.
What?
No,
Me?
Aaron was not a senior undeclared, but he was pretty damn close.
Yeah. So my junior year, they actually confronted me and said, "You have to declare a major, or else you can't go to the school anymore." And so when I asked them, "How many credits do I have left? What do I have most of?" And they go, speech communication." I go, "Got it. That's it. That's my major now." Yeah.
All in. All in.
So that's the
That's why I had to go back to school and become a nurse, because I didn't do shit in college.
You did a lot of useful things.
I-
Life lessons.
Yes.
Knowledge.
Fun stories.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Now you're a well, we won't digress about
that's the only reason I even bring up
college
that
kids.
scene.
Well, they always have. There's all these scenes in this movie with useless talk about people's their degrees, and I'm going to have a music degree. What am I going to do about that?
Yeah,
Which I found
that's
really
Alice who says
insulting
that.
as a music major. But I mean, they keep having these conversations where they're talking about this useless.
Yeah. But at the same time, I guess that's college banter. You know,
I know,
talk about
but-
your majors.
More killing. Less
Yeah.
talking. Or
So-
boobs. Just
Yeah.
Boobs would be
boobs
great.
would be more redeeming.
And this is where Don says she's been a senior for 9 years. Like I said, she is the Van Wilder of this movie. Only she's not as cool or smart.
She's so dumb.
So let's say she's 20 as a senior, so that would make her now 29.
And she obviously she looks like she's 19 in this movie.
Right. She looks pretty young. So.
Either that or she was a genius child who went to school when they were like 12.
Then she got a brick
And then
dropped on her
and
head.
then she got sudden brain damage. So we go back to the tea drinkers, and now Kat has managed to
the
disappear again. And Renee's like, I'll go find her. And this is a lot of facts. We go back to Pima, who takes a tripping D, who's having major lose off to the bathroom, try to get her to sober up. And she's having hallucinations of the evil Mad Hatter from the dream, which is weird because it wasn't even her dream. It was Donna's dream.
Donna's dream.
And so she thinks Pima is the Mad Hatter, and she keeps attacking her over and over
Mad
again.
Hatter. Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter. That's all she, and she tries to strangle Pima.
Yeah,
And
so-
Pima always gets out of her strangulation hold by biting her.
And
She's a survivor.
yeah.
That's
And so Dee's like, I've had a fear of the Mad Hatter since her mother read her the story about the Mad Hatter when she and Donna were kids.
We're kids.
So now I'm really
Confusing.
fucking confused about their ages and relationship between Dee and Donna. Because if they were kids, so are they actual sisters?
Or have
And-
they been...
They just
They look
friends?
totally different.
Yeah, they
Oh,
look
yeah.
one's half Asian.
Yeah. And
Dee was Asian America.
that's right. Yeah. So yeah.
So are they just friends?
Have they
But
been
they're-
buds for this
So
long?
does that also mean Dee has been a senior for 9 years? Or like, I don't understand
Doesn't
the
make sense.
relationship anymore. So I don't
I'm
get it.
sighing a lot. That's all I'm adding
Yeah.
to this
yeah,
conversation.
I don't know if they're
Sighs.
friends, lesbian, lesbians, biological sisters. What? It doesn't matter. I'm lost. So Pima takes Dee to the laundry kitchen where they eat some nuts and have more boring dialogue, and she snaps again and starts attacking Pima.
Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter. She bites her, ends a hallucination. Now we go to a flashback of Anne and Rocker Chick. Anne tells Rocker Charlene that she can't really afford to buy the place anyway. And she pulls out a kitchen knife while saying, I know you can't afford it because you gave birth to Alice and that changed everything. Now, Charlene tells Anne that her husband wants her dead, that she wants her dead too, and that her husband loves someone else. And so how does Anne respond to this? She just says, no. She's like, no. I need to raise Alice. I need to be here for her. And if I'm not there, there's no telling what will happen to her. And I'm like, what is that? Is the weirdest thing to say to someone who's threatening to kill you.
No.
And she doesn't even say it with emotion. She's just completely calm. She's like, I'm going to kill you. She's like, no,
No.
I have to be here for Alice. Like,
No.
you can't kill me.
You know,
right
I
now.
just can't make that appointment.
can we
you know?
reschedule that?
Yeah,
Like-
that's this whole killing thing. That's just not. Doesn't really work for me. So
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is say no, and I'll see you later.
Exactly. I mean, it's so bad. But Charlene then says, you know exactly what will happen to her, and kills Anne, and it jumps to Alice waking up on the couch.
So this was all a dream.
All another dreamy flashback. So Mallory and Alice are chit-chatting about Kat, and how Kat never talks about her mother when Mallory heads off to the bathroom. So many people just head off randomly to the bathroom all the time
And
in
there's
this
so
movie.
many different bathrooms, like so many different rooms that they're using as bathrooms.
Yeah. So now we're back to Pima and Dee in the bathroom upstairs. Pima strips Dee down and gets her in the shower, but sadly we see no boob.
Nothing.
Yeah, and this
Or
is
ass.
like the tease. It's like, okay, here we go.
This would be a good
sour
time.
sour scene. I can't even say it.
Yeah,
Shower scene. Ugh. Nope.
got
lame.
nothing. And she asked what D, because D's like, oh, I'm okay, but I see something. She's like, what do you see? And she's like, I see two of you. One like you, and one looks like the Jabberwocky.
The Jabberwocky.
And the camera then shows a person in the dragon mask standing in the bathroom looking at them. And this is supposed to be the Jabberwocky mask.
So now that's the clue, is that this is the Jabberwocky character.
Yeah. Which, except we are educational here. So the Jabberwocky, which is actually not even in the stories, but people get, it is actually a poem within the story that Alice reads in the sequel, Through the Looking Glass.
Through the Looking Glass.
Which is a complete nonsensical poem, which I did write out, but I'm not going to read it. You can look it up online, but it's crazy weird to try to read. But some facts about the Jabberwocky itself, because I needed some. Because I was like, I've heard the Jabberwocky be like, what the fuck's going on? Why is this?
We need to interrupt this whole thing because, we need to just take a breath. Yeah.
So here we go.
Brief intermission.
Help my brain recover from this travesty.
Jabberwocky is a nonsense poem written by Lewis Carroll and included in his 1871 novel Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There, a sequel to the Alice in Wonderland. The book tells of Alice's adventure within the back to front world of a looking glass. In the early scene, characters White Queen, Red Queen, Alice finds the book. You see the unintangible language. Realizing that she is traveling through an inverted world, she recognizes the verse on the pages are written in mirror writing. She holds it up to the mirror, and the world reflected as Jabberwocky. She finds the nonsense verse as puzzling as the odd land she has passed into, which is later revealed as a dreamscape. Jabberwocky itself is considered one of the greatest nonsense poems written in English. Its playful, whimsical language has given English nonsense words and neologisms such as galumphing and chottle, which there's so many weird words in this poem that are
galumphing and chottle.
Most of the poem was written during Carroll's stay with relatives at Whitburn near Sunderland. The story may have been inspired by the local Sunderland area legend of the Lambton Worm. So it's basically kind of like, I guess, somebody writing a poem like a Bigfoot or the New Jersey Devil or Loch Ness Monster. John Tonelli, I might be butchering his name, reluctantly agreed to illustrate the book in 1871, and his illustrations are still the defining images of the poem. The illustration of the Jabberwocky may reflect the contemporary Victorian obsession with natural history and the fast-evolving sciences of paleontology and geology.
So I'm guessing more dinosaur fossil, things like that nature.
Stephen Prickett notes on the context of Darwin and Mantell's publications and vast exhibitions of dinosaurs, such as those at the Crystal Palace, is inspiring Tonell to give the Jabberwocky the leathery wings of a pterodactyl and the long, scaly neck and tail of a cereopod, which is basically, it's a dragon with a weird head. Many of the words in the poem are playful nonce words of Carroll's own invention, which intended explicit meaning when Alice has finished reading the poem, or without intended explicit meaning. And when Alice finished reading the poem, she gives her impressions, and this is from, it seems very pretty, she said when she'd finished reading it, but it's rather hard to understand, which the poem is hard to understand. She didn't like it to confess that even to herself that she could not make it all out. Somehow it seems to fill my head with ideas, only I don't exactly know what they are. However, somebody killed something. That's clear at any rate. And that is exactly...
Seems like this movie.
Kinda, yeah.
Exactly how I felt when I read the poem of the actual Jabberwocky.
This is kind of how I feel when I'm watching this movie. Somebody
I don't
killed
quite
something.
get it.
I don't quite know.
But somebody killed somebody.
And something...
So maybe this movie is actually quite ingenious in the fact that it's really is like the Jabberwocky.
Don't you dare give...
Somebody kills something, and it could be the most genius work of film writing ever, then, if that's
snap.
the case.
Oh, snap.
I'm going to jump out this goddamn window.
That is a big claim.
That's a big leap, buddy.
Way to play devil's advocate
Yeah.
on that one.
Nice try.
Whew.
I like that twisted web you weave there, yeah.
So
All right,
anyway,
so-
Pima screams after seeing the Jabberwocky. She takes off running down the stairs.
Can I comment on that really quick?
Of course you can.
That is one of my favorite things in this whole movie. That scene right there. When Pima turns around in the shower and sees then the shot goes to the Jabberwocky, it comes back to the two girls. Pima dips out.
Yeah.
She is like, boop. She goes out of the scene completely.
Yeah, she
and you
like
see
ducks
her
out, yeah.
all the way down the stairs in heels. Like heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do.
And she's
My
hauling
favorite.
ass, like big steps. Boom,
Yeah.
she's falling down the
She
stairs.
leaves D high and dry. She's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Bye, bitch.
Yep.
I am out.
Yeah.
She's a
She is
survivor.
trying
She
to
is-
get away, and she's
It is
now,
my
I want to
favorite.
comment on this because she's taking huge jumps down the stairs. She's falling, her
Yeah.
legs are flying everywhere. She's hustling her butt off to get down these stairs.
love
Yeah,
it.
she is.
So, go on.
But which I just want to say, because when she runs out
That's-
the bathroom and down the stairs,
Yeah.
my problem with that is she would obviously had to have run past the
Oh,
group of girls in the big room upstairs, which they don't even pay because it's like they're like right in this like living room area and the bathroom is like off the side of that. So she would have had to run like right past
Right.
these girls and down
And
the
nobody
stairs.
hears this.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything or hears it.
Not at all. So Dee, who's acting more like she's drunk now than high, gets killed by the
Poor
Jabberwocky,
tripping-
who
poor
stabs
tripping
her repeatedly with a knife.
Now,
Now
this.
Dee
Full
pretty
stab
much
on action.
she erupts.
Yeah,
in
she's
blood.
Well,
The
they were
amount
in a
of
shower.
blood use is so over the top crazy in this
Easy
scene.
cleanup right
So
there.
I do like. So when Dee's looking at the Jabberwocky, she's like, "You are one ugly son of a bitch." And I was like, "That's pretty funny." And then she gets stabbed and I mean,
Boom.
just explodes.
Yep.
And I was thinking for a minute she was gonna go, "You one ugly motherfucker," like from Predator.
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't happen. But it was
It's
still
amazing.
pretty good.
It is amazing.
So it cuts back to Pima, who's shown running all
Running.
over the place, trying to find a way out of the building. Again, not once does she yell out for help during
Right.
this. And she's running by all the rooms, and it's been established that the other girls are in, yet nobody sees her.
Right.
Why can't they get out of this house again?
So now,
No.
Okay. Okay. We'll wait on that. We'll wait on that.
and she runs back up the stairs and hides underneath a table.
And she
Right.
hauls ass up the
Right.
stairs. Yeah.
And but somehow
Which
the
is awesome. Down.
Yeah.
Up.
The Jabberwocky doesn't see her at first, so he leaves the room, or whatever. And she climbs down the ladder that Matt
Yep.
used to get in. And then all of a sudden the Jabberwocky's like, oh, okay.
He's
Oh,
right
there's-
behind her.
And he's
There,
like, so
that's the way to
it's
go.
fine. He just
Behind
left the
her.
room. He's right behind her, climbing down the ladder.
Very calmly.
Now, this is where I have a problem with. Now, Pima's running away through the junkyard, the Jabberwocky's chasing her. Jabberwocky grabs a flashlight also, mind
Yeah,
you.
out of nowhere, the Jabberwocky suddenly has a flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chase scene is so bad.
So, this chase scene, we have already established that Pima is running,
Yeah.
like, big leaps and bounds and
I
moving.
know, the way she runs
And then
is
the way
fucking
she's
bananas.
running in this chase scene, and I imagine they said, "No, you got to slow down, honey. You're leaving her out of frame."
right.
And she's taking the teeniest, tiniest little steps.
Yeah, the actress is looking like she's trying to run, but not run at the same time.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
so bad.
It's like
looking.
like if you've seen people who are in handcuffs and they have the ankle cuffs too. It's like they put ankle cuffs on her, and she has to take these teeny tiny little steps, and she's looking behind her, going, "Oh no, oh no!"
It's like they
just
sped it up.
yes,
Yeah, it's
it
like-
looks ridiculous. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
you know?
It's really funny but horrible.
And the best, then she then
horrible.
She
trips
over a rock.
over the
smallest
smallest rock you've
Smallest
ever seen.
rock.
It's small. It's like
And they show it. They
it's not
show
even
it
as big as
specifically.
yeah. It's not even as big as a lemon. You know, I mean, she trips over something the size of a
They
lemon.
could have just shown her like trip and fall, and you
Over
it would
her
just
own
been,
feet.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just would have been insinuated.
she's
Oh,
running
she's
in
running like an
heels.
idiot.
Yeah.
so she fell. But no, they have to show the fact that she fell over this very delicate small rock.
Teeny
with her
tiny
foot.
rock. Yeah.
Ooh.
And the Jabberwocky just walks up to her, stabs her a bunch of times with a knife, kills
Did
her.
you
and
notice
walks
that
away.
she fell on like a dirt and gravel when she fell down, and then
think so.
underneath her
It
was like one of those rubber pads you
Was
see
that
in
what that
kitchens.
was? Yeah.
Yeah, those rubber pads you see in kitchens, those non-slip rubber pads you see in like in
Yeah,
like
they had
in
to protect the actors to fall. They didn't have money for stunt doubles.
but she fell on the dirt, and then she was being killed on the rubber mat.
well, they probably didn't want to get the costumes there. They had
That's
to return-
probably what it
They had to
was.
return to the costume shop.
They made no attempt to
It's
cover that
terrible.
up.
I love it.
And like her death scene was it's just like they must have ran out of blood because they just probably had someone with a spray bottle spraying in their face while
yeah,
Jabberwocky went up and down. Just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of the lamer ones. So it goes back to Tiffany, Samantha, and Donna,
Keeps going.
who are working on the trap. And Tiff wants to make a trap that consists of something heavy falling on someone's head, i.e. the foam brick, which is in her hand, as well as a trap electrocuting said person. I'm like, holy shit, Tiff wants to straight up murder somebody.
I know.
And the others
gonna
are
be
totally
evil.
okay with this.
They're like, yeah, that's a good
that's
idea.
fine. All right, good idea.
That's
Totally cool.
ridiculous.
I'm on board.
Why
Yeah.
are you doing that?
I mean, you want a brick to fall on their head.
I mean, obviously the brick you tell is just a piece of foam painted
Regard-
reddish,
but
let's-
but yeah, it's supposed to be a brick.
It's a fucking brick. That could kill a person.
Yes.
If it hit him right, it could kill you. And then you want to shock him on top of it.
They want to hook electricity straight to the doorknobs.
She's like, I could rewire it, and then I could put some water in front of
Right.
the door, so
Yeah.
that when she stood in the puddle, it would totally electrocute her. What?
What?
And then did they tie the brick with floss?
Yeah.
Because Pima always carries floss
Yeah.
with her, so they got it with floss.
A brick.
Yeah.
They tied up with floss.
She must have some pretty strong teeth if she has to use.
Dang.
Super floss.
Yeah.
Oh
All right.
God, I just
All right.
So there's a quick shot of Dee's dead body covered in blood in the shower, but I just noticed there's no stab wounds anywhere to
None.
be seen.
No.
And she's got her towel on real
Towel's
nice.
Yeah, her
on,
towel's
so the
on.
towel stayed in place. It being a brutal murder. So I'm just guessing the makeup people forgot to add the wounds or just got lazy here. It's just
Yeah.
like whatever. And it goes back to Alice and Mallory, and Renee enters again, complaining about the mess in the basement. And suddenly Kat reappears sitting across the room. And it's another boring, stupid scene. It's just basically they're talking about the basement mess again, and Kat disappearing and reappearing, which has been
Well,
established.
I think
many
they
times.
just keep trying to make us feel like, who is it? Is it
Yeah,
Mallory?
it's supposed to be a
Is
who
it
knows, yeah.
Kat or is it
Renee,
Uncle Renee?
yeah.
Like which one? Because they keep again being very lame and kind of alluding to, oh, this could be me, but
Yeah, poorly done.
Yeah.
But at least it was, that was the idea.
Yeah, and so back in the upstairs group, Samantha's rigging the door with the wires, and Donna goes off to look for Dee. And once the trap is set, Tiffany sends Samantha down to go get Mallory and Alice to lure them upstairs. Now, down in the theater room, they're playing charades when Samantha comes in and tells Alice and Mallory that, hey, Tiff needs them upstairs to see them, and it'll be shocking.
it'll be shocking.
Yahoo.
And Renee pours more tea for himself and Kat, but when he looks up, she's gone again. Donna finds Dee's dead body, but before she can scream, she gets grabbed by the Jabberwocky from behind. And it cuts away to Samantha, who leads Alice and Mallory to the booby trap door. But Mallory pushes Samantha through it instead, causing the foam brick to hit her on the head.
Oh,
And she reacts according to being hit on the head by a foam brick, which is barely reacting at all.
yeah. She
Which-
just like falls down and goes, huh.
And keep in mind, this is supposed to be a real
Fucking
brick.
brick.
Real
And then the
brick.
girl would have been seriously fucking hurt. And she
Right.
doesn't even
Ow.
say ouch.
It's like,
Yeah, it's just, that was annoying.
Yeah. So at this point, the girls hear Donna yell out and they rush out to look for her.
All right, now this is, before we get to that point, that's
Okay.
when the cook girl, what's her name again?
Samantha.
Samantha gets hit on the head with the brick and falls down. And they're all like, haha, your plan didn't work. And Tiffany goes, well, I'm leaving, and reaches for the door, and then she shocks herself.
Yeah.
So it's,
Ow.
ow. So not only did the one girl get hit with her own brick, the other girl got shocked. And then when they hear the screams, Alice grabs that same fucking door handle
No
and
shock.
walks right through. Never gets shocked. Come on.
nope.
Come on, guys.
I missed that part.
Maybe
I missed
she
that.
had
I'm glad you caught
rubbers
that.
on.
Maybe.
Maybe
Rubber-
she had her rubbers.
Slickers.
Yeah.
So they find Donna super glued to a toilet seat.
Yep.
This. Ugh.
And Donna tells them that the Jabberwocky did it and that Dee
a
is
dragon
dead in the
guy.
shower next to her.
And Dee is dead.
But Dee's
Dragon
body is
guy.
gone. The body just disappears.
Where is Mr. White?
We don't know. Last time we saw him, he's drinking tea by himself.
Right.
The girls leave Donna there and go downstairs to find something to help get her off of the toilet seat. And they find Kat in the theater room and fill her in on what's happening. And I do like Kat's reaction to hearing that Donna is glued to the toilet seat. She's like, that makes sense. I don't know what. There's some gems of writers, some things that I just love.
Poor Donna.
And they find out that the exit doors are all locked at this point. We can't get out. The windows all have bars on them. Even though we've seen Matt and Pima both go out a window.
Right.
Right. And. Oh, God, go
And
on.
then so
I-
Kat then throws out that it might be Charlene Glass doing all this. She might have come back and she's doing all this. And she comes up with the genius plan of splitting everyone up
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Tiffany and her lackey Samantha go upstairs to look for Renee, who's now gone.
Missing.
Mallory and Alice go to the basement to find the cell phone, while Kat looks for another way out by herself. So back in the bathroom, Donna is making paper airplanes on the toilet paper. And when the Jabberwocky comes in,
And I'm thinking, Jabberwocky's
Right.
finally going to
Here
finish
we
the
go.
and
job.
the Jabberwocky has a machete, and he just smacks her on the leg with it.
Yeah, just because she's wearing a short skirt and that's kind of high up, and she like kind of smacks her on the side of the thigh, close to the butt with the machete,
Yeah.
and then walks away.
Yeah.
I was like,
"Ah!"
I love that scene.
I kind of like it too. He's like, you're just fucking with this
It
girl.
made no sense.
And so
But she
here,
didn't react accordingly.
She's like,
either.
"Ah!"
She was just like, "Ew, ew, what are you doing?" Like, here's somebody. Her best friend was murdered.
Your
right
ass
next
has
to
been
her.
super
Which
glued
you are
to
super
it.
glued.
because okay,
Nothing and nothing. She's like, "Oh my god."
which is
what's happening?
what you said, because apparently hearing Donna scream, Samantha leaves Tiffany to go help her. So even
Yeah,
though she
now all
barely
of a sudden-
reacts, Tiffany's like, "Oh, I heard that,"
Yeah.
Everyone
Oh,
else
now
has
I
been
heard a
screaming their
scream.
ass off.
and
Yeah.
Tiffany just doesn't give a shit at this point. Fine, go help Donna. I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we go back to Donna, and the Jabberwocky's gone, and in comes Renee now, and she tells him that he has to get her off. And to get her off, she has to pull on her chest. And she's like,
the
I have to
puns.
pull your chest to get you off? And yeah, it's bad.
Really bad writing.
So basically, Renee he pulls her off the toilet seat,
Essentially peels her off.
rips chunks of skin off the back of her
Ah,
leg.
What they
Nasty.
show on the toilet seat is pretty gory.
Yeah.
It's like big chunks
Big
of
chunk.
gore
Yeah, I mean,
and it's
yeah.
like she would have these big rips on her ass
Yeah.
and legs.
And he
Blood coming
leaves her
down.
to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
And so Samantha comes in and gives Donna Dee's panties to replace her torn ones. And this is what we're getting to. Because we notice that the back of Donna's legs are completely
Oh, they're
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no blood.
They didn't even try to make them
No
look
blood.
wounded. No blood. They just got fucking lazy.
She doesn't sell it at all.
No.
I mean,
she's just like, "Ew, it kind of hurt."
kind of
Yeah.
hurts. And if what they showed represent the type of like trauma that she had, you got to get some medical attention
Yeah,
right away.
right.
Yeah.
You're peeling skin off. That's horrible. That's got to be
It looks like a chunk of
right,
muscle came off.
incredibly painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably just had passed out from the pain.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
Like, ugh, and done. So
He like passes her some toilet paper.
Yeah,
He's
like,
like,
here you go.
"I'll get it. I'll get it." I'm like,
Just clean yourself up,
What?
honey. There you go.
child. Oh, child.
in comes the Jabberwocky now with the machete, but the Jabberwocky gets hit over the head from behind by Tiffany.
Yeah,
Tiffany
Queen of Hearts
saves
saves
the
the
day.
day.
Yeah, and now Renee comes back in and joins them as Tiffany takes off the Jabberwocky mask, the dragon mask,
Very Scooby Doo moment.
to reveal Kat.
Bum, bum, bum.
So we fade to black, fade in on everyone standing around Kat, who's now tied to a chair. And they're like, how do we get out? How do we get out?
could
Kat's like,
you?
there is no way out. That I'm going to kill you one by one,
the
leaving
only way
Alice
out.
for last.
Okay, doesn't Renee own the fucking building?
I just
Exactly,
wrote
he
here,
does.
isn't the uncle the actual owner?
You think he'd know where the exits and
Or
entrances
have the
are?
Or have
keys.
some keys?
Right, or just, God damn it.
So now she explains that her mother
Just leave.
was Charlene Glass that killed Alice's
Oh, yeah.
mother.
Here we go.
All because of
Tie-in.
Alice's father, a man they both loved. She also reveals that she found her mother hanging in her living room
Mm-hmm.
and that she read and destroyed her mother's suicide note. And I'm like, wait, what? Didn't we see Charlene Glass get killed earlier in the movie by way of throat slashing?
Right.
So are they changing their own backstory of this movie in the middle of the movie?
Maybe they forgot that
What
scene
the
was in there.
fuck is happening in this movie now?
They just forgot. They just didn't know.
That's the laziest thing I've ever. It's like we have Charlene Glass killed. Alex Charlene Glass is killed. Oh shit, we forgot that Ari Glass.
Well, we already filmed that scene and we need it for filler, so
Well, fuck it. Hope it.
Yep.
Well,
It
maybe
comes
nobody
back.
will notice.
Yeah.
It comes back. It comes back later.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another. Yeah.
So Alice.
But still.
So Kat says that Alice's mother's triggered her mother to kill Alice's mother, and that
Interesting.
Alice is her trigger to kill.
Now, didn't we just recently see a movie where that same type of logic played in to a certain point? We saw Reanimator, and the movie we saw before 976 Evil, Reanimator. What was the movie we saw before that?
Happy birthday to me.
That was happy birthday to me. Remember, the lady was just like, you are the spawn. Is like same kind of like canon, you know, like it's. And I'm just like, ooh, this seems very familiar.
I can't forget about that. Yeah, good call. It is similar.
You're your husband and my mom and blah 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 blah. And for some reason makes her go so crazy that she's able to keep her rage and craziness in check for 4 years to plot the perfect time to spring this ridiculous trap.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Which only happens because Mallory suggests having the party. So if that party didn't happen, like this never would even come to fruition.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tiffany and Samantha stay with Kat while the others go again to look for another way out. And everyone goes down to the basement. So instead of looking for a way out, now they're in the basement looking for the cell phone.
Right.
And they're all looking in the exact same spot, pretty much.
Right.
This is a huge basement, and they're all in the same aisle. It's
spread out.
Limited search here. And Renee mentioned there is a small bathroom down here with a small window with no bars on it that one of them might be able to squeeze through. We're like, well, that's good to know now. You could have told us that maybe, I don't know, an hour ago before this happened. So in that bathroom, Alice is in there. She finds a large kitchen knife and says, hey, why don't we use this? And Molly's like, nah, put that down. That won't help.
You don't need that.
You have captured a killer who's killed like half of your sorority, and you disregard a weapon that can be used to defend yourself.
We're fine.
No, we're good. Don't worry about
building, you're out. You've been trapped in and can't get out. So they find the window anyway, and Mallory says, "Hey, I'll go through it." They open it up, but then Alice suggests that maybe I should go through it, and Mallory snaps back, "What are you saying? I'm fatter than you?" And I just found that funny because the way Mallory delivered the line. And like, even in a life and death situation, these girls stop to think about, hey, are you saying I'm fat?
Are you saying I'm fat? He's fat.
That seems such, like, I don't know why.
And neither one of these girls are even close to being fat.
No,
they're really super slim. Yeah.
And Mallory is hot in this movie.
She looks a lot like, I'm really bad with names.
Me too.
The girl that was in that 70s show.
Mila Kunis?
Yes. She kind of has a Mila Kunis kind of look.
Maybe.
Thank you. God,
she's a little curvier.
My recollection
She's
is really
curvy.
bad.
I mean, they make her. She's cute.
Mallory's really, really attractive. Anyway,
but her getting stuck in this window is a big pile of BS.
It's so bullshit. She attempts to crawl through the window, and of course she gets stuck.
And she could fit easily.
Oh yeah. God,
Alice tries to push her through it and pull her back out.
The window's down. Like when she starts crawling through, the window's open all the way.
Yeah.
And then when they show her stuck, they close it on her.
I'm like, why don't you just, I don't know, lift the
window back up,
and out she goes. I thought the same thing. And speaking of the window, the bathroom is supposed to be in the basement. Remember that, the basement, which would means underground. By the way,
you'd be crawling out on ground level, most likely.
If that, on ground level. But when we see the outside shot of Mallory stuck, it's
2
clearly
stories
on
up.
the second floor.
Yeah.
They can't even get that
there.
right. Like, you could at least found a window on the first floor to film this. It's like, what is going on? So back upstairs, Tiffany is trying to like interrogate and threaten Kat into telling her how to get out.
The lighting is terrible, by the way, and completely different. Like now, the lighting in the same exact scene from before is very bright,
really bright, yeah,
and the sound quality is different, and
very echoey, cavernous,
totally different day of shooting.
And
yeah, big time.
So Samantha says like, "Hey Tiff, don't hurt her. She's my sister." And she's like, well, yeah, we're sorority sister. And she picks up a baseball bat that happens to be lying on the floor.
Right, just
out of nowhere.
Baseball bat out of nowhere.
And hits Tiffany over the head with her saying, no, she's my real sister. So, bum, bum, bum.
The swerve is in.
Twist.
Again, I find a complete lack of reality used when dealing with people getting hit over the head with heavy blunt objects in this movie. Tiff falls to the ground, but again, doesn't act like she got hit by anything.
She's like,
the way she got hit overhead with a baseball, she would be unconscious after getting, or bleeding, at best, or dead possibly, because she gets in the back with a baseball bat. And we've seen people killed all the time this way, and she just practically bounces right back up.
So I've been into a few little scuffles here and there, and like I've seen people get hit with baseball bats before. It's gnarly, luckily I've never seen anyone get hit in the head with it. But like when it hits, like someone in the back, it's like for real. Like, people knew that they were wielding baseball bats and did not hit them in the head on purpose because they knew how much damage they could do. So it's, the fact that she got hit in the head with a baseball bat and was just like, ew. I mean,
Ow.
yeah, come on.
So basically, Kat starts Bondville in here. She starts revealing her plan, and she tells her that she pretended to get close to Mallory, which is Alice's best friend, while Samantha got close to Tiffany to make this whole thing work. And Samantha unloads on her. She just starts kicking her while she's down, and she tells her how much she hates her and the way she acts, and just goes to town on Tiffany.
So old butt chin Tiffany just gets hers.
Yeah.
And I feel kind of bad for Tiffany, really. It's like she already got owned by Kat twice.
Right.
You know, she kind of saves the day, kind of coming around, a little redeeming quality. Okay, you kind of let her get owned by by Kat the first time.
She got beat up by Kat. She lost the fight
and,
to Kat.
and you don't mind that because she's, she's like, but she deserves it.
Yeah.
And now she saves the day and starts getting her ass kicked some more.
Yeah.
So now-
well, Kat keeps egging it on.
Yeah.
She's like, "Is that the best you can do after 4 years of taking her torture?" And she just starts like,
And she's like, fine, I'll kick her harder.
Yeah, fine.
So Samantha then grabs an axe from the very same door that moments
a
ago
little
the
corner.
baseball
Oh,
bat appeared in. So this
Yeah.
must be a
Do-do-do,
magical door
do-do-do.
or wall or something.
And this
Just
axe is
keeps-
old and rusty.
Yeah.
Like the blade is brown with rust.
Bad.
Oh, yeah, it is. And Samantha chops off Tiffany's head in one of the worst beheading effects I've ever seen.
No blood.
No blood sprays.
No. She's
Samantha
wearing
doesn't
white.
even take a full backswing or wind up. It's like a half swing. So there's no way she'd take off someone's head
No.
with one swing with that half-ass.
So it's
back.
kind of like in the Return to Horror High when Amos, the black janitor, touches the knife to the girl's neck and her head falls off.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's the same effect. She just basically taps her with this axe and her head
goes
comes flying off.
Oh, it's so bad. So Kat now picks up the baseball bat while Samantha screams to lure the others up to them. So Alice and they rush off, leaving Mallory stuck in the window, and Donna's alone, still looking for the phone. Once upstairs, they find Tiffany's decapitated body and Samantha lying on the floor next to it. Alice helps Sam up, who tells him that Kat killed Tiffany and then hit her with the bat. So actually, not a bad move. I mean, that's okay. I can buy that. I buy that.
Did they explain how she escaped?
No.
Yeah.
So Alice, they go off to look for Kat, and she kind of emerges from a doorway, and she starts to follow them. But then the very next scene, Kat's in the basement next to Donna,
She's all the way down there.
who has her head underneath the shelf, and they exchange words. And I do like the fact that when Donna says to Kat, "You tried to kill me," and like Kat says, "You think I tried to kill you by gluing your ass to a toilet?" I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of awesome.
I kind of like that too. Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, basically Kat ends up killing Donna by stabbing her through the stomach with the machete.
Which is so lame.
Yeah.
It's
It's like-
anticlimactic.
I do like that. I like what she's like. She tells, it's like, as Donna's dying her, she says, "Sleep well, princess."
Sleep well.
And I'm like, oh.
I always liked you. You made me laugh. You have no idea how funny you are.
All right, yeah.
So now I'm going to kill you anyway.
Ah.
No witnesses. Gotta do it. So back to the other three. Alice finds the window with the ladder. And this is when Sam then hits Renee over the head with the baseball bat, knocking him out. And Sam goes into more exposition, explaining that Kat is her older sister by 1 year.
We've been playing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
Same mother, but different father, and that insanity runs in the family. But that if that wasn't exactly it, then following Tiffany around for 4 years would drive anyone insane.
Wah,
Oh,
wah.
God.
So they struggle, and Alice ends up getting the bat and beats Samantha to death with it. And it looks like they just dumped like cherry or strawberry pie on Samantha's face and called it a day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the effect is really bad.
It's like,
So
yeah,
It's like
here's
ground
pie.
beef with some pie. Yeah.
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 And,
Yeah.
like, it almost looks like some crust in there or something. Like, who knows?
It looks horrible.
So Kat walks into the bathroom now where Mallory is still stuck in the window. And she asks Mallory seriously, she's like, "Hey, guess what I have?" And every time Mallory gets an answer wrong, she spanks
Smacks
Mallory with the machete for getting the question wrong, which is, again, kind of funny. And she starts picking up a camera, starts taking selfies like next to
ass
Mallory's
selfies.
ass, which is weird.
Ah.
While Mallory's pleading for Kat's help to get her out of the window.
But it's lame. She's like, "Come on, Kat.
Come on, let me out.
Don't
It's
leave me
it's
like
getting
this.
campy.
Yeah.
It's like
Don't
it's
do
got
me like
it's
this.
gone from like just shitty to campy. And I was actually enjoying this more. I just wish the whole thing would be more campy. You know, instead of
Yeah.
trying to be sort of serious and failing completely.
Total fail.
You know, I mean, it's like this scene was actually kind of fun. You know, taking selfies of her ass and slapping her around with a machete when she guessed wrong and she's stuck in there. And she's like, come on. You know,
It's a little sticky.
it was sticky, but it was at least a little better.
Well, yeah.
So Kat then tells Mallory that she killed Charlene Glass and took her keys to the building. Now, again, I thought Charlene was her mother who committed suicide.
Yeah.
I am so fucking
Well, that's
lost
where it
as
comes
what's
back.
happening.
That's where it comes back.
Yeah.
She's like, that's how they try to tie it together. She tells the story about the suicide, and then she reveals there that she killed her.
So did that ever
I killed
happen?
Charlene Glass. What?
Why didn't you say that in the first place instead of tell that?
And
Fuck
they
you.
also throughout the
Yeah.
whole movie are trying to make you believe, and I think you guys covered this about like how her mom and Alice's mom like were in love with the same man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't
Does
make
that
sense.
make
But
sense
I don't
at
understand
all?
why would she kill her mother if her mother killed Alice's mother? Like, if they're both killers, like, you would think the mother, like, hey, go ahead, kill them. Encourage it. I'll help you out.
Problem
I
solved.
was like,
Yeah.
We're a family of killers. We band together.
Right.
No, this
They
is-
even talk about that too. It's like once you kill,
Ah,
it's like once you go black, you never come back.
Yeah,
once
you're
you
a killer.
once you hack, you never go back.
once you've
I don't
killed,
know.
you're a killer till the kill of your last
So-
kill.
Yeah.
What?
So basically, Mallory basically said, don't let me die like this. Come on, don't let me die in the window. And Kat's about to
die
kill
like
Mallory
this.
when she gets stabbed from behind by Alice, who was
Oh,
holding the
yeah.
large kitchen knife she found earlier in the same bathroom. But I'm like, how the fuck did she get it? Because she left it in the bathroom.
So when I see
Oh, there's so many of this magical appearing weapons in this movie.
when I see Mallory hanging at the window and her ass is just perfectly there and she's got a machete, all I'm thinking of is please kill her by just shoving it right into her butt.
Yep.
Like that's the way to do it. You know, it's going to be gruesome. It's going to be weird. I was thinking this
I
could
could
be
think of the same thing
Could be
too.
a
like that was-
redeeming. This
you
could be
know,
my
this could
favorite
be an
kill.
awesome kill. And she talks about, I can just cut you here and scrapes the outside of her thigh, saying that you'll bleed out. And
I
nope,
was going to ask about that 'cause
wrong,
I'm like, that's not the femoral
wrong.
artery or
No,
anything.
it's right at the
that's
groin.
inside.
It's right at the groin, right where
I
you're.
was going to ask, like, that cannot be medically
She's a
accurate.
killer. She's not a scientist. She doesn't know.
It's right where your junk is.
So Kat dies in Alice's arms and tells her
a good way to remember.
that, remember, you're a killer now. And then once you're a killer, you'll be a killer the rest of your life to your last breath. Just like me, Alice, you're insane. And
All the killers of the killer till your last kill of the breath.
Yeah,
so
What?
fade to black, and we fade in on Alice, Mallory, back at Aunt Lena's house. And Alice says
Oh,
that she's going to
God.
burn her Alice dress, which Lena says, isn't that a bit extreme? I'm like,
No.
I think that's a pretty
No,
fair
I think that's
reaction.
fair.
to
and the funny thing is,
Isn't
they're
that
just
extreme?
they don't seem upset
No, that
or really
traumatized.
traumatized,
No.
and they're just like, that was a wild night.
Yeah.
Mallory says, Mallory even says that she basically
Maybe
cut
that's
her
why they don't
Playboy,
drink. That's-
her Playboy bunny costume into 1,000 pieces. We're like, yeah, it's fine.
But it just seems like they're just kind of brushing off this
Oh,
evening as like
God.
it's kind of like they got a flat tire that night. Like, well, that was a pain in the ass. Yeah, you know, like
Their whole story was just eradicated in one night.
reveals of your mom's murderer and all this information and all your ex-boyfriend's dead and all this crap has
Right.
gone on. And they're just like, woo.
Well, and Alice goes apeshit when she kills Samantha. Like, we talked about that, but like she screams. I didn't say this, but it was my favorite quote in the whole movie. Her mother killed my mother. Her mother killed my mother.
That's right. That's
And
right.
then
She
the uncle
did.
says-
Renee comes in.
Renee then says, "You can have a good cry about it tomorrow." You can have a good cry about it tomorrow, child.
I forgot about that.
Let's go. And good thing he was motivational because
Yeah, what happened to him?
No, he actually
We don't
lashes him. As far as we know, he's
He was
fine.
it.
He
That
lives.
was it.
Um,
He lives.
So Alice mentions that she can't stop thinking about what Kat said to her as she died about once you're a killer, always a killer, blah, blah, blah. Lena asks, well, what did she say? And she repeats the whole thing. And she starts laughing insanely while
Yeah.
Lena and Mallory look. And she said, I'm insane.
And it goes
fade
on
to black,
and
roll
on.
credits.
Uncomfortable and terrible.
It's-
So insincere, like every single
yeah.
character, and so unbelievable.
So that's the movie. And we're going into favorite kill.
There can be only one. Favorite kill?
So,
Okay.
all right, Sarah, what is your favorite kill of this movie?
All right, guys. So I don't know if the way we talked about it made it seem a lot more stretched out. But in my mind, the two scenes happened so quick that I actually put two kills together
Ooh,
as
double
my
kill.
favorite
Okay.
kill. If that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my favorite kills have to be Dee and Pima.
Okay.
That whole scene that we talked about, that cracked me up so much. Like crazy drugged out Dee, the blood just, but
Yeah.
Pima dipping out like that. I mean, it was so, like you said, it was like a moment of kind of funny and
Yeah.
campy, and it was so horrible and drawn out. So you had like this really kind of good death. Still no boobs and nudity. That would have
Nope.
made it better.
Yeah.
Like
Would've
at
made it
least if
better.
you would have seen some like nudity during the killing.
Make it
But
a
I
little
still-
raw. Yeah.
Right, but I still liked it, and I thought that the comedy of the two together created a good kill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my favorite.
Yeah, like Pima running all over
kill.
the place. You could have been playing Benny Hill music.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing, to say the least. So
Aaron, what's your favorite
You
kill?
know, so mine was D as well, but not for the exact same reasons. Mine was because she was tripping balls and looks at it and goes, "You are one ugly son of a bitch," and then she's just like, then she hams it up real good, and then the Jabberwocky kind of cocks its head. It's like, yeah, fuck you, stab, boom. You know, I mean, just the blood bag that like. It just blew their wad on that.
yep.
Boom.
I wonder if it was meant to be that way.
I loved it though. I mean, it's
So much blood.
We're gonna
just-
save this one for the shower scene.
yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet there's logic behind it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
we can clean this up real
Yeah,
easy.
right. It'll be a quick cleanup.
My favorite kill was, at first I toyed with Matt just because of how ridiculous the intestine thing was.
want me to spill
From
my
basically
guts?
getting stabbed. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
somebody took a chainsaw to him or something, but instead of a knife. But I'm going with you guys. I'm going with me too. I love the fact that
Wow.
she just gets stabbed and just explodes in blood.
It's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
It's a clean sweep.
That's
with D.
amazing. That's amazing, guys.
There were a lot of deaths too. There were a lot
were.
of deaths.
It was a decent number, yeah.
Yeah, but that was just so fun.
All right, moving on to the odds and the ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, starting with our ratings. IMDb gives it a 1.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, there is no official thermometer score, tomato meter, but it does have a 14% audience score.
Way too high.
And Amazon comes in at 2.1 out of 5 on
That's
Amazon.
one of the lowest
Yeah.
Amazon.
For an Amazon score, that's a low one.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Plot keyword. There are only like 6 or something like this. I just wrote them out. Nothing. Most of them aren't anything. Murder, gore, Alice in Wonderland, slasher, independent film, and panties.
Eh.
There was not a whole lot of trivia on this movie. There's no like background facts I could find, and I'll come back to this later. But this was obviously like someone that went on IMDb who saw this movie and added their own fact about this. It's obviously not true, but it's kind of funny, so I just thought I'd read it away. It says facts, trivia. 7 of the girls in this movie were illiterate. And I was like, obviously that's not true, but that's really kind of funny that's on IMDb right now.
That's believable.
Yeah.
That's believable.
So, now we would move on to the budget game. But sadly,
Ooh.
no budget for this movie.
Oh,
I could not find.
really?
And I have a little bone to pick here because I went to every site I could possibly could and couldn't find a budget number.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent out emails to producers and of this movie and actually sent emails to Ted Chalmers and David Sterling and try to get information on these people. Hey, give me some background facts. What's the budget? And explain what we do here. Nobody responded to me. And
Sure.
I'm just like, kind of like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, right.
This is basically free advertising, free publicity for your movie, and you can't even reply to an email. It's like these guys aren't like Spielberg and Lucas. They're so goddamn busy. It's like you can respond to an email or a Facebook message or something like that. It's like,
Well, maybe they heard the reviews of their other movies that we've done and they don't want to talk to us.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that. But Anyway, so sadly there is no budget game. We do get to move on to 5-star reviews.
Is this your guilty pleasure? 5-star reviews.
There are 5-star
There are
reviews?
5-star reviews for this.
Whew,
So,
hurts.
from
Yeah, no.
I
Joey
read a good
Hall.
one.
I
I read a
know.
couple good ones.
That bad, just need an open mind, especially if you love cheesy movies and B-rated movie, but not Oscar-worthy, LOL, 5 stars.
To say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, right. That's right.
From
Got
Kenneth
that.
L. Shriver, a real whodunit, 5 stars.
Like I figured out it was Cat like in the first once they mentioned it's like, oh, she leaves all the time, and I'm like, yep, it's Cat.
That's thought provoking.
Yeah.
Something happened to her mother too. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
Yep, got it.
Got it.
Got it. On to the next one. Yeah.
AMG 1109. I love horror movies, so when my friend invited me to go see a screening of this film, I was
Aw.
totally stoked. This film is fun and campy with plenty of hot girls.
No.
I'd recommend it for anyone who enjoys a good horror flick, 5 stars.
Boo.
Don't trust that person.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Sorry
All right, 2 more here. From Slay Talica.
there. Yes.
Slay Talica?
Slay Talica.
Hmm.
If you have a lot of free time, like I do, then this movie is all right. I like slasher horror movies, and this one is a decent enough way to kill 90 minutes, no pun intended. If you like the kind of movie where random teens go to a place and start dying, then this movie fits that profile.
Not really.
I don't judge acting too seriously. I guess it can be considered poor, but I personally don't really care about that. Some of the characters are all right. I particularly enjoyed the teacher for some reason. There is one funny scene, although 95% of the scenes are pretty bad. I have seen far worse production on low-budget movies. The kill scenes aren't great, but at least they aren't hidden cutaway scenes. The overall production is high enough. Nothing special, but entertaining enough to keep my attention. I didn't walk away or feel like turning it off throughout the duration. If you can ignore some of the illogical scenes / dialogue and some of the many errors, and it's good enough to watch once to pass the time, 5 stars.
Wow.
That's fairish.
But then the 5-star review.
5 stars.
That's someone who really, really, really wanted to like this movie,
They
but just
tried.
couldn't let
No.
themselves write absolute bullshit.
All right, I do have a confession to make about that movie or that review. It was from IMDb, not Amazon, so it was 5 out of 10. But it was technically a 5-star review.
Boo.
Yeah.
And
Cheater.
the last one I wrote is actually a 1-star review just because of the way it was written. It was kind of funny. So from Shoop. First, the pro. This movie, remember, this is the pros of the movie. The movie was poorly acted with little inference to the theme suggested. Weak storyline, horrible effects. A garage movie with a great DVD cover and potential, given the script's unused idea. Trust me when I tell you, you shouldn't watch it if you are paid handsomely to do so. An embarrassment to the genre. Now for the con. A maggot in the shape of a disc. It smells when you crack open the case. It ruins your DVD player. Your TV will never recover and will not forgive you for this travesty. If a DVD player could scream in pain, your ears would bleed. Finally, the conclusion. Even if taken in the light of campy, you would beg for large bears to ravage the camp and rip out your eyes and ears in a primordial act of mercy. 1 star.
Wow. I have to. Bravo, Shoop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shoot.
I was like,
clap.
that needs acknowledgement for what it is.
That's
I
good.
feel somewhere in between his review and the review that was previous, like closer to Shoot maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
Oh wow.
final reviews before we do have some news to announce after we get done with the our final remarks of this movie. So start with Sarah. So bad it's good, so bad it's scary.
Oh guys, you know what I'm gonna say. You know, so bad it's scary. Oh, it's so terrible. It was just characters totally insincere, totally unbelievable. The storyline made no sense. Nothing made sense. The characters didn't make sense. I'm still questioning as to what happened, and I watched it twice.
Oh.
I've watched this multiple
mean,
times too.
Just really unneeded dialogue. The kills, though bloody, they were just boring and it
Yeah.
was just lame. I really can't say much more about it other than lame-o.
Yeah,
Lame-o.
I'm
Aaron?
right. So bad it's scary.
So
I mean,
bad it's
I don't
scary.
think it's a surprise to anyone that I'm right there with Sarah. What she said about a lot of this movie, it just and this is the third one I think we've done from this same producer, the guy I don't remember his
Producer
name.
director.
Yeah, and this was probably the worst one.
You think this was worse than Bloody Mary?
Yeah, at least Bloody Mary had boobs.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, this was that. If there were boobs or booze or something that was a little bit more believable, I may have. It may have helped.
And
So I-
Bloody Mary had that song "Ribcage,"
It did have ribcage.
which
did
they
watch
played
that.
4 times. But yeah, I mean, this was the worst. This is the worst one out of the 3 that we've done. And you know what's funny? A movie that I hated and was really upset about watching now, Night of the Dead, Friday the 13th, is a masterpiece. A goddamn masterpiece.
Well, like I said, this was before though, so maybe
Yeah.
they got the groove going. For,
Christmas Sleigh was worse than this. I'm sorry. Yeah.
for me, you guys are gonna shoot me. I'm saying So Bad It's Good.
Oh!
No.
There's enough in this movie that I enjoyed. I know it's awful. Like, there's something wrong with me, but I liked some of the girls. Like some of the acting I've seen way worse. They weren't great, but there were some things that were fun. There were some
Unbelievable.
moments of writing that I thought were great.
Are you sure you didn't get a hold of the writer, director, producer, and he's
Right.
gonna slip you a few dollary dues for you to say good things about this?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's got its problems. I agree, but I don't know. I'm saying So Bad It's Good.
Wow!
So fucking-
Wow!
That's a shock.
I
That's
know.
a shocker. I don't.
All right, so that's our final word.
Wow.
Now we have some news to announce before we close this out for good. I don't know if we mentioned it in last week's podcast. I think we did, but next week starts our March Madness, even though it's February. March Madness horror movie
Extravaganza.
extravaganza. So basically, we narrowed down through hours of debate and heated discussion. We narrowed down
It's a lot.
32 of the movies we reviewed on this podcast into a bracket to determine what is the worst of the worst that we've seen so far. And the brackets are made. They will be posted on our website and Facebook page, so you can check those out. And you can vote on which movie you think is the worst for each parent and help be a part of this as we determine which ones are the worst.
So please vote. Yes, please vote, because if we don't get any votes on any of these,
It's up to us.
It's up to us, and it's always fun to have fan interaction. We really look forward to it. So we're going to post it on Facebook, on our website, and a few other places.
The first section of games, like we said, we have to start these early to get through this in time for by the end of March or early April. So the first 4 matchups will be done next week. And the first matchup is Pumpkin Carver versus Bachelor Party in the Bungalow of the Damned,
Oh God.
followed by Uncle Sam going up against The Stuff. Then 976 Evil going head-to-head with the Poultrygeist. And
That's hard. Oh.
that's a hard one. And then the final one we're going to do this week is Happy Birthday to Me taking on The Wickeds, which was the second episode we ever did.
That's right. That's right.
So those are the ones that we'll be doing. We will announce who goes on from that batch next week. That's going to do it for us. So
Well, hey,
get involved.
Can I? Sorry
Oh,
to
go ahead.
interrupt your flow,
Oh,
but
please.
just to reiterate on the contest. So we are having to guess like the worst of the worst. So bad it's the scariest.
Yes.
Right? Not so bad it's good.
Yeah, we
Because
we left
sometimes it's
movies off this
hard.
list that were too good for this, even though they weren't good, like
Okay.
or movies that were too much of a cult classic, or ones that like Santa Slay, which I fucking hate,
I love it.
but it's not quite really a horror movie, so we left it off the list.
And of
All
course,
right.
like we did Killer Clowns because we love it. That's more of a cult classic.
that's
People
not
love
list.
it. Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a debate about this, but this is what we boiled down to for this year. And yeah, so what will take the crown as the
Awesome.
worst of the worst movie that we've done on
All
this show
right.
so far?
Get to
With that
voting.
said, like I said, you can interact with us and give us your votes on Facebook. You can check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com, where you can also check out the brackets and drop us an email. Follow us on Twitter at So Bad It's Scary. You can tweet in your votes there if you want. Follow us on Podbean at horriblehorror.podbean.com. And you can download us, subscribe to us, check us out, and share us all on iTunes as well. So all of it's free. we do this as a public service announcement to save you guys from having to
real.
deal with these movies.
For reals, y'all.
Go do something interesting with your. Go read.
Go read Alice in Wonderland.
yeah.
Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be it for us this week, Moon Goons. We will be back next week. Take care. Watch more horror movies. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.